Yo, crank that volume, turn it way up. Get your weapon, get your blade out. Damage, then you gon' pay up. Yo, crank that volume, turn it way up. Get your weapon, get your blade out. Damage, then you gon' pay up.
Yo, crank that volume, turn it. Very independent people.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Okay, let's move on. Let's get this started.
Oh, we're actually live. I just figured I would fuck around for a minute and whatnot and just leave you guys, let you talk.
Good. So,
hey,
folks.
No, I'm actually going to play an intro, folks. Don't worry. I just want to let Andres wax philosophical real quick, and all that.
No, we don't need
intro. Episode 3 to review for y'all of that.
No. How about this? Episode 3 is great.
Andres, why don't you sing an intro for us? Sing us the Star Wars intro. There you go, folks. That's a good one. I'm starting to work on some really nice, little actor intro clips of some of our shows and whatnot. The next one, Cyber, will be the Wong one, but it's long though, so I got to cut it.
Wong?
Yeah, a Wong is long. It's a long one. I gotta cut it down. But anyways, folks, hey, look who's on the MCU's Bleeding Edge fucking report. We've only ever had one other guest. We've had Kendra Smart come on. Well, the co-host of the MCU's Bleeding Edge channel podcast decided that it was a good idea this Monday of all Mondays. Who knows why? It's gonna be a special Monday for Cyberneticshark. I'm not sure. And no, sir, I apologize. I did not get my Dr. Big Old Cuddies. I totally forgot because I went out bar hopping last night and got drunk as shit. I did. I was doing reaction videos till 5 a.m. drunk. Wait to see these reaction videos of me drunk.
Oh, good
drunk Bleeding Edge reactions. It's going to be fabulous. Anyways, but yeah, so I was still drunk at 5 a.m. like I said in the stupid messenger chat or whatever, whatnot, everything. I was still wasted. So no, at that point, I'll save it. I will drink some Dr. Bill Cuddies on the show here soon, folks. I promise. I was going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm a man of my word, especially when it comes to alcohol. And I got a drink for me and Andres, too. So I'll probably be 3 sheets that night. It'll be good. You can make fun of me, Cyber. Anyways, we're here to do a Marvel's review. That's why he's on here. That's why Cyber's on. He was on because this is a very special occasion, folks. On the MCU's Bleeding Edge report here, the MCU's Bleeding Edge YouTube channel podcast, we're doing our 3-person review of the Marvels here. We're going to knock it out in an hour. We're doing it like a condensed version of the review. Maybe we'll do something more long form down the road or whatnot. Who knows? Or maybe we'll do a ranking show again, and kind of, we'll talk more about this in another show. We'll see. I think it's definitely worth talking about for more than an hour and with more voices and opinions because all 3 of us like the film, basically, was the gist. And so we're sort of like counterculture at this point, right? And so I'm definitely going to advertise that when we put this content out and I cut it up a little bit. That hey, I'm not going to be hey, F you to all you haters. Look at us. We like the movie. I'm just going to be hey, guess what? The MCU's Bleeding Edge doesn't think that the Marvels is all that bad. It was actually pretty decent. Some of them lines, but more catchy, right? Because it was entertaining. Was it not, Cyberneticshark?
Yes, it was. Really, I walked out of it surprised at how good it was. Simply for the fact that how much the director herself was saying that it was a crappy film. So, that right there, when the director is basically killing her own movie, doesn't always sound doesn't always make it sound like it's going to be a good film. So, yeah, so I was surprised because of all the reshoots over the last 2.5 years, 3, and just kind of how a lot of people were saying that they felt it was like a mash of 3 films to put into one, and all that kind of stuff. So I was hearing a lot of that, and so I wasn't too sure how it was going to come out because we have all these different people saying different things. And it's kind of oh, okay.
He's beating it to fucking death.
Yeah, they were. So, you kind of go in and you're oh, I'm not too sure how this is going to be. Because I always go in with an open mind anyway, so no matter what the film is. But at the same time, still, after you hear that so many times, you're kind of ooh, let's hope this is not bad. So, yeah, came out surprised. Really enjoyed it.
it helps to get some word of mouth from like on the show, even though the Marvels just came out and we haven't had a lot of guests on lately and whatnot and everything, because Jeff S. TrueKnowledge has been, having some got to put himself back in therapy type, stressful, life type, issues and whatnot and everything with my mental health. And my stress levels have been kind of like a little bit too high and whatnot and all that. So had to cut back on the show. Obviously, I'm sure some of y'all that support us have noticed that and whatnot, that we don't have the Sunday show anymore. But it's good though, because I'm guesting now with Andres, here and there. When I'm not like getting locked out of the Marvels and have to go back and rewatch it the next day. Which I would have went anyway, probably a second time. But either way, bottom line, the word of mouth from everybody that came on and the little bit of guests we've had on, and then the three of us, everyone that's come in, person after person after person, has come in and told me, hey, you know what? Like Cyber was like, you're gonna be surprised, or whatever, whatnot, everything, or like, there's something like that. Or I was surprised, whatnot, but like, blah blah blah. It was actually pretty solid. Andres, the pop culture guys, did something similar. And then he hearted and like, supported like me saying in like one of our chats earlier that I thought the movie was really good. And like, honestly, for as much as I rag on Captain Bree, I friggin' honestly think that she should stay in the MCU because she actually did a much better job in this film. They did a lot better job with the writing for her. Her lines were better. She delivered them better. And she was good. She actually did a good job. Of course, who knows what they cut out of the film, but I thought she did a great job working with Monica and with Tayana Paris and whatnot and everything, and with Aman Vellani. Although I'd have to imagine Aman Vellani is probably not hard to work with, right, Andre? I mean, she's young and impressionable and whatnot and everything, so I'd have to imagine that she probably just kind of just toes the line, you know what I mean? Andres, I'm talking to you.
Well, so anyway, I was just doing fun things.
What are we gonna do something for the movie where you're gonna sing?
No, I was trying to be more a mime. The mines. I was trying to be a mime. But anyway,
yeah. Oh,
yeah, mime. Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's what you call it, mime. Right.
I forgot. Mime is very popular in the year 2055.
Oh my god.
In perfection.
Sure. Sure. Hold on, let me give you the actual date. It's I think
they make more money than the stock market people now.
Oh yeah.
In 2055. Vibes.
Yeah. Anyway, so okay, so the Marvels. So I saw it last week with my good friend Chris, and okay, I thought so from start of the film and then towards the end and afterwards. Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think it was a really, it was a fine film. It wasn't horrible. It's not the worst superhero film this year. I think it's just kind of ridiculous. It has really great fun moments. I mean, first off, big positive. My biggest positive of this movie was Miss Marvel. I think um, the actress that played Miss Marvel was incredible in this movie. Like her and her family actually was the best part of this movie. Like they really brought the energy, the grounded, grounded in reality sort of for a superhero film. Like really worked there, and that's what a superhero film should have. Like I really enjoyed the dramatic of what Miss Marvel brings in because she is a very traditional superhero, and having a secret ending and all that. Like everything that she was in was just really gold, and everything that she says was just really great. And her not to jump too far, the was it the stinger of her creating the Young Avengers was really exciting, and her talking to Kate Bishop was just like, oh my god, that's great. And I think that was the biggest positive to me was the inclusion of Miss Marvel was really great, and that was the best aspect of this movie. Now, biggest negative about this movie is this again, it's the Marvel community and what the effing god are they doing? What the fuck are they doing? Like I mean, I agree with Cyber. I appreciate the villain had motivation, but it was so like she barely was in the film to appreciate what was going on with the villain plot. Like they were just so like it's like, oh yeah, here's the villain plot, here's the end word of thing. It's like it, so like nonchalant. Like it was so like, oh yeah, we've been there, done that, and it's like, wow, it's just, and it was so weird because like where was her people towards the end of the film? Because we saw her with a bunch of these creep soldiers, and like they were not in the end of the film. So it was just really bizarre. Like you can tell it was reshot and re-edited like multiple times. Um, yeah, like I like Brie Larson here. I think this was better performance wise than her first two appearances in Phase Three. I really dug it. I want to bring up Monica. Tari Paris is a great actress. I love her in WandaVision, and I think she did a really good job here. But I wish that it was more like I wish she had more to do here. And that's my thing about this movie. It was like I wish it was a much longer film to delve into more of the thematical crutch of the film they were trying to do, more plot character development for these characters. Because like yeah, I appreciate the 1 hour thing, but like they had so much in this film and they barely scratched the surface, and that was the most frustrating thing about that, which we'll get into right now. But yeah, um but it's a fine movie. It's not the worst MCU film. I like for the 23 MCU films, I gotta say I think I will put Ant-Man 3 above this movie just because the Kang villain was so much more realized than this villain in the Marvels. But at the same time, like the Marvels and Ant-Man 3 have one thing in common: really have good casts that I really enjoyed and great performances. So that's the good thing. So it's fun. It's like that, It's a fine film. It's not a bad movie. You guys can watch it. Like I
I
recommend
agree.
watching this film.
I do. I agree. I think Ant-Man 3 is better than this movie. I do. I mean, definitely. I know Cyber agrees too. Probably, I'm sure. No, it's Cyber. Although I could be wrong, right, Cyber? It's been known to happen.
What was the question?
I said I assume you probably would be on the same page with me and Andres that that Ant-Man 3 is probably a better movie overall than like Marvel's is.
Oh yeah, I loved Ant-Man more. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I said. I figured you probably definitely would agree. So I guess just to start.
MODOK is my number one.
No, I know. There's nothing wrong with that too. You know what I'm saying? Again, just because like with me, that the only reason I don't like MODOK in it is because it's the comic accuracy. You don't care as much about that as I do with MODOK. You know what I'm saying? And whatnot. Like, with you care about comic accuracy too, but you're also trying to be entertained. You found MODOK entertaining. You know what I'm saying? Right? So there you go. Like, I found it somewhat entertaining too. But again, my comic accuracy radar doesn't go off that often. You don't see me on the show. Andres, Cyber, I don't rarely ever jump in really and like get all crazy about comic accuracy. It's usually guests that do that, not me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I kind of stay out of it for the most part, to tell you. So I don't like to get into it that much, that heavily, because it kind of gets going. You know how it is. You've seen it before, Cyber. Those conversations get going. You know what I'm saying? And whatnot. Those comic guys and women get heated a little bit sometimes when you start going to that direction. The more you go down that rabbit hole, the more they want to talk about it, the nastier it gets, right? You know what I'm saying? Before you know it, everything's all negative and whatnot, everything, and they're bashing this and bashing that, and you know what I mean? It's what it is. Not everybody, just certain people, and I'm not even saying anything negative about people. I'm just saying it happens. They take the comments that seriously, like the ones that wouldn't come on in Miss Marvel with us and whatnot when we reviewed it and whatnot because they weren't going to watch it. Like all the people didn't watch it, even though it was really good. I'm telling you, sometimes I wonder if how people didn't watch Daryl Dixon just because it had subtitles, yet they'll talk shit about it and say it wasn't any good, right? They stopped watching after episode 2 because of subtitles, right? But they'll pretend that it was better than Dead City, even though Andres and I reviewed all of it, both of them, and Dead City was not as good as Daryl Dixon, not even close.
Why did they have subtitles?
Because it was shot. And it was not only shot and produced or whatever, whatnot, everything in France, but it's also in France. Like that's why they shot it there. It's Daryl in France. Yeah, he's in France, and he's in Paris and whatnot, everything and all that. So at that point, all of the villains all speak, and some of his allies only speak in French, or some of them go back and forth English to French. but more French than English. So there's a lot of subtitles. But it never bothered me. In fact, honestly, when we reviewed it, I don't think me and Andres ever mentioned it more than once or twice. Either way, bottom line, you know what I'm talking about, Andres. I'm sure you've seen people that have complained about that shit. They never watch. You can tell they never watched the whole show.
This is new to me, and if you have a problem with subtitles, then that's your fault. Like I've
For
seen
real.
I've seen so many movies with subtitles, so it's not a big deal. So,
I told you when that one chick the one day said that like when I asked her for like one quality secondary character in Dead City, she was like Ginny, the fucking douchebag Ginny, asshole that she is, worthless fucking character. She should have got the Danny Award. I'm sure she did get the Danny Award. Either way, though, let's do the intro of the movie. So it's a quick intro. One thing I'll point out right now and everything and whatnot, and I'm going to ask you guys for like the flaws, the movie's flaws. We'll do that towards the end of the review. There's not a ton of them for me that are huge, but I'm sure you guys probably have your own opinions on that. I didn't like the way that Fury came off Secret Invasion into this show and his energy and his attitude and whatnot. Everything it didn't match what I would have expected him to be like from jump in the film coming off Secret Invasion. I wouldn't have expected him to be so aloof, right? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. They didn't give us a clear timeline of like how far off this was from Secret Invasion, but it seems like it was close, right? So that's all. I thought that was a little bit weird.
well, no. See, it's all Culver's fault and the scheduling. See, this movie was supposed to come out before Secret Invasion aired, so Secret Invasion was the thing that like Morris was gonna lead us to the Secret Invasion. So, but because of the switch up of the schedule, because they pushed the Marvels a couple of months before the Secret Invasion happened, it just created now a huge continuity thing. So whatever this movie did with Nick Fury, it made sense because it was going to lead us to a Secret Invasion, and it could have lined up actually better. But the fact that they did this, the pushing back the Marvels just made it much worse. And plus, besides the scrolls, it doesn't really connect all what happened with Secret Invasion with the Earth stuff, because of the president declare all war against the scrolls, and so yeah, a lot of it just it's all the scheduling problems that have been going on with Marvel.
Okay. So the intro is like all aspects of the film very compact and very quick because of the fact that the movie only is an hour and a half long, which I think is great. It was a great to go to see an MCU film that was only an hour and a half long. I loved it. I think the other people in the theater liked it too. They did. Because we were entertained by the movie, right? So it was like, okay, it's only an hour and a half long, but it could have been longer, but right, maybe they could have done some more action scenes, whatever. I would have liked that. But either way, we get right into it, and we right off the bat we go right to our main three, catalysts and whatnot, everything in the Marvels, and we launch right into them. Like, they never really. I don't know what you guys think, but the whole they never really explained it well, how their light energy or whatever whatnot forced them to switch. There was no clear explanation that I heard really in the intro that made sense. That really made sense to me. That was profound enough sounding as to be legitimate. But I don't care. It is what it is. I don't know why they really had to have that whole deal, but it did create a cool intro, right? And it brought us into the middle of the film. Right, or kind of got us to the end of the first third of the film, with some good scenes, some good montages and whatnot with them, that were pretty dope. Once they kind of tried to work on it and figure out how to deal with it, but we go right in right off the bat. They're power swapping, right, and we meet Monica, right, Monica Rambeau from WandaVision, who of course is Auntie Carol's niece, right, because Monica's mom died. Right, remember in WandaVision, those of you who watched it and whatnot and everything and all that, or if you didn't, she did. Her mom died. Her mom's alternate version from another reality or dimension or whatnot, everything was in Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness as Captain Marvel. Basically, so we go right off the bat into things and whatnot and everything. They don't really give much of a introduction really for Amon as Miss Marvel, really. And we go right into it with their family and whatnot, that whole dynamic and her and whatnot, and then the power switching. So they start flipping powers. Every time one of them really activates their powers, they're switching in and out of themselves. And right off the bat, that leads into them like, you know, through via Captain Marvel, the Annihilator, as the Skrull call her. You know, she's out there and ends up like, you know, getting into some shit where there's like, you know, fighting going on. And so we end up getting some action right off the bat and whatnot and everything. And it is kind of cool seeing them switching their powers and having people coming in and all of a sudden having to fight out of nowhere, especially Kamala, right? She was the best, just like she's probably the best in a lot of the scenes during the film, I think. In certain areas, she was stronger than the other actresses. I thought her character was. But what do you guys think? Going into, you know, we get into Nick Fury at Sword. Of course, unfortunately, because they killed her off as much as Cyberneticshark told them not to. There's no Maria Hill, so like there is no secondary. Either she would have been really great in the film, but she's not there. So instead, we don't have anybody like her. Unfortunately, would have been a great addition. Good fan service. That's what I was thinking several times in the film. Like, where's Maria? Either way, we go into Sword. As I said, Nick's kind of like acting chill. Like, you know what I mean? Whatnot. He's not stressed. He's not flipping out over whatnot. He's not sad. Like, he's just chilling, doing their thing. And it basically, right in that first third of the film, we run into a Dar-Ben that was gender swapped. Not gender swapped, but race, gender swapped from a male character to a female character. And she's basically a Kree hammer-wielding Ronin mother type MFer, right? But female with like a bad haircut or whatever, or like, you know, bad hair dye or something whatnot. Like, you know, she got hair dye from the year 2077 and it was bad. It was under Andre's bathroom cabinet for 77 years or some shit. It went bad and she used it. And so her hair was terrible. Thanks, Andres. Good job. So props to you. Dar-Ben could have been so much better if her hair dye had been straight. But either way, and then now, and you guys can tell me what you think, but she has some crazy fucking eyes, right? From jump, she has a crazy eye, which is either funny or like not, or like, it's only funny for me after the movie. The movie, I was like, okay, bitch is crazy. I get it. She's fucking nuts, right? She's pissed off. They're trying to make her look mean. Gotta make it look mean. So she's out there getting after it, like she's actually gonna like basically, which I thought was a good way to start off with her. She's actually trying to hammer out some kind of treaty with the Skrulls, so she can suck the resources out of one of the planets we're staying on, but they can come stay on Hala, right? So she is gonna let them come stay. But when the Annihilator shows up, to her, that's some indication of like disrespect to her, right? So like, as far as she's concerned, fuck that shit. You guys are done. You know what I mean? Like, like you did this. You brought the Annihilator here. Whatever. So there you go. So basically, the Marvels kick ass. They kick their ass, and the Flerken jumps in, helps out. All the Kree soldiers they fight, and different aliens they fight and shit and whatnot there and whatnot. And we see Dar-Ben, and we get to see what she's doing. She's sucking resources out of planets by using the bangle, the other bangle from where Monica has it. Where she got hers, we have no idea. But they are the quantum bands, aren't they? Yeah.
Yes.
So the Quasar wears in the comics. Yeah. So what do you think, Andres, a pop culture guy, 60-minute man? What are your thoughts on the first third of the film? And you can go as far as you want. I'm not giving you like a wall. Just go ahead and go out in the middle of the film. like stop around the end of the third.
Yeah, sure. Well, let's start with the beginning,
Stop,
and then
stop when we get to the singing people shit.
Okay, all right, that's fine. All right, that's fine. Okay, so I mean, the beginning was very like okay, like we were just jumping in, and I was like, it was cool to see the villain gain the quantum bangles, as they call it. It was really cool that they brought that from the comics. It was just really, I thought everything was presented very well. Like I like the energy we have here. I really like how they switch constantly. It was really good. my issue was just the Carol stuff, like the how like we we're saying like particularly the Monica and Carol relationship is so undercooked in this beginning. Like I get that Monica is not keen to talk to Carol, but I do find it kind of flimsy. Like I think it was more like she should have been more upset that you know um that Carol didn't maybe help stay with her mom with the cancer or try to help cure it, but instead it was just like bizarre thing of like, oh, you promised me you come back, but she didn't came back because of this film. We discovered that because they've been calling her the Annihilator, and that she's doing more bad than good as a superhero in the cosmos, and so she's trying to like try to fix her reputation as a superhero so that it doesn't break, I guess, Monica's like view of her as a individual. Yeah, thank you so much for blaming me on the hair thing. Um, but anyway, first let me actually bring up the brand now because now you're bugging me with this, and this is fucking annoying me. Okay.
Oh God, here we go.
Yeah, because this is your fault, Jeff. At least Saber is joining this. Anyway, well, so actually, the actress that plays Darvan, she's a great actress. I think she did everything she deserved. It's really good. I mean, I again, my thing is that we don't spend enough time with her, and like the scenes we get of her is just very like stereotypical villain, just want to destroy this and shouting and yelling at the screen for no goddamn reason, and it's like so funny, and the look, it's actually good you brought that up, um, Jeff, because the her look is so inconsistent in this film. It's like first she's like well dressed, and then the other times she's like, more casual, and it just drives me nuts. And then the eyes is actually a Kree thing. Like if you pay attention to some of the appearance of the Kree, their eyes actually glow. Like in the first Captain Marvel movie, Drew Law's character, his eyes were like glowy and like bluish. That's how the Kree looks like. Um, but if you try to make this character so like diplomatic, like a diplomat person for the Kree, like you want to make her be at least professional and menacing, right? And just the way they dress her, it was just so off to like it almost felt like Thor, Love and Thunder meets some of the Guardian of Galaxy Goofy's characters, right? Like I don't know, like I felt like the execution of her looks was just really bad. And just top off, like um I felt like she had really great potential to be a great villain for Carol because she had a great motivation of look, you destroy the Supremes intelligence, you're making my planet die without the sun, and all the resources have been like been drained for the last couple years to defeat you. And I really like her motivation there. And then Carol, I like her motivation as she's trying to help the Kree get out of this like cult kind of mindset that they had from the Supreme Intelligence, how they've been brainwashed. And she's trying to like what she's trying to do is like set them free, but she's not reasoning. She's making it a lot worse for the the planet Kree that they're at. So like I think that there was a potential between these two like characters, one another, but they don't even explore that, and that was the most frustrating thing. So the Kamala Khan family, when we first introduced, I really dug Miss Marvel. Like I love that they brought back, and you remember if you guys reviewed the Miss Marvel the first two episodes, I love they did the drawings and
We
like
did it.
yeah, like the was it the Kamala Khan doing her like short like YouTube videos and that like stop motion thing. Like I actually love that they did that here again, and when we get introduced to her again,
We
that
like
was
that. We talked about it during the reviews. We talked about all that, about everything. We all loved all the digital effects they did, all those like comic book like logos they would drop differently, the different ones
yes,
they would drop at the beginning of the shows. We always
Yeah.
talked about that. Yeah,
Yeah. So I like that they brought that back here when we get reintroduced again, Miss
I
Marvel
like
here.
the trademark as a character.
Yeah, exactly. And I like they were consistent about that. So that was really fun. And but yeah, and then when we get to Monica, it was really great to see her again. And so Jeff, to explain, they did explain, like, the thing about it was they explained that the switching, but it's kind of like far fetched to really believe that that is actually happening with their powers. Because Monica, like, here's the thing: Monica is the typical like expedition character, and she's explaining these, like, the reason they're switching is because their light powers are entangled because of whatever the quantum bangles is doing, and of course Kamala has the quanta bangle thing, and when you have a like your character just talking, explaining it, it just gets really boring, and it's like, oh my god, it's just so like driving you so much, it gets really numbing, and so you kind of forget that she like actually explained this, and when we get to flaws, like they didn't go forward of how these quantum bangles came to be, and that's like the thing that was frustrating in the movie, which we'll get into later. But yeah, so then after that, when we get to like the switching, and that's where the movie for me got better. Like, I mean, I don't care about Nick Fury anymore. Like, but I love Samuel L. Jackson here. Come on, like, what do you say? Do your black magic woman thing is so funny. I laughed so hard at that. That was so funny. And oh my god, me and Chris laughed at the line when he say, "Stop touching, stop now on, don't ever touch shit ever again." Like like that was really funny when when he's talking to Carol to never touch, whatever you did to that makes the switching happen. Never touch it again, which was so funny from Jackson. But yeah, I think Jackson was great in this movie. I thought he was the great comedic relief. I mean, I love the part when he tells the brother for Kamala, don't stop praying, and while they're getting out from Saber. Um, but yeah. So that was really fun. So I thought Nick was fine here. I thought the action was great. I actually liked how the action was really great. Uh, well shot from these scenes. I saw this in 3D. I don't know how you guys thought about it. Um, some of the effects were shoddy when I saw it in my 3D glasses. I don't know what you guys think about the effects. Because when they were like jumping in, like when Carol was flying and then landing, it was a little fake, and like it felt way too, like, it was like a CGI thing. I thought there were some problems with the way we were showing like some of the flying stuff. But yeah, but none of that. I thought Kamala's powers were like actually really good here. Compared to the show. The show had like not a big budget like this. I thought that Nick Costa did a really good job expanding Kamala's powers, and they look really great in this film, which is good. Um, anyway, so I thought those like switching was really good. Um, then after I say we got the three finally together when Kamala and Monica were in the cruise ship, them stopping, for them like destroying the scroll colony, and that was like really interesting, and and I thought that I say it like the action was good there. There was a moment when Kamala sees Carol telling her you cannot save a lot of people. That was a really great moment because Kamala sees her hero not as she thought it should be. Like she thought she was going to save a lot of these scrolls, but it wasn't true. You cannot save everybody at once, and I wish we spent more time with that. And then of course after their band opened the portals to suck the colony's water or air, which is funny because it's very Spaceballs like. And after they escape the scroll colony, we get the cameo of Valkyrie, which was really great. And by the way, like I think Valkyrie and Carol had way more better chemistry than I would say Monica and Carol for some reason. I thought that was kind of weird, but I really wanted to see more Valkyrie here, so to speak. But we didn't get that. I thought, I at this point I just don't care about the whole Creed Scroll like peace treaty thing. Like they done such a bad job with the Korean skull here in this film that I was like, oh my god, why we're still doing the refugee thing? And it's like I don't understand it. Like I mean, there was a line that Tad will say in Secret Invasion about how there was a colony that the squirrels can live, and then there's a bunch of them on Earth. So I don't understand why the schools are sticking with Earth if they had a planet they actually can go and be themselves. That was the thing that was so jarring when I saw that in this film when they were going to that scroll colony. But whatever. And then now they go into Earth, and that was so bizarre. Anyway, um, yeah, and then I dug the training montage from the girls. That was really cute, and
Yeah, I liked it too.
yeah, it was really fun. Especially Kamala, like she brought the energy there was really great. I love I I like it because the constant gag of trying to give Monica her code name, like we should call you Professor Marvel. Oh god, I I laughed so hard on that one, Professor Marvel, Spectron. That's Monica's other comic book name. Proton. That you see in WandaVision is actually Monica's name in the new recent comics. Reem Proton Rambo. That's another comic book name that should probably take later in the film, whatever. Um, yeah, so that was great. You went shot, and then you get to the dancing planet thing. Now, I don't know if you guys hear me about
Cut
the
it off
trailer.
at the dancing thing. Let Cyber get in.
Okay, go ahead. I'm done.
Okay.
Thank you, 60-minute man.
Man.
There you go. Good job, Cyber.
Well, he's got to impress, President Jean-Claude Van Damme and, time cop dimension. So
I know, and Vice President, what's her name? His favorite, Angela Bassett. Yep.
Yep. Yep. Anywho, so basically the beginning of the film is really enjoyable. I feel right off the bat, though, when Kamala first transfers with Captain Marvel, that sequence there at the very beginning, unfortunately, you could see that it was cut together with something else they had filmed. And because she was like wearing normal clothes, and then all of a sudden she falls on her bed and she's in her outfit. So that I thought was kind of a bad edit. But other than that, I really enjoyed that whole sequence there when they first transfer powers, especially when she walks downstairs, Captain Bree, and her parents are like, "Who are you?" basically, and then they just keep transferring back and forth. You get some really great transferring backs while they're fighting and stuff like there, was just really fun. And the parents are just kind of like, the brother and stuff like that, trying to get in the way. That was really fun. But like the scene where Kamala ends up falling out of the sky, I absolutely love that. I think that was super funny. And, Photon tries to virtually try to fly for the first time, has never flown before. So we get that kind of, her first flight type of deal. And, we get all that great fun there at that beginning. You got kind of that, you get the brief information about the other bracelet, the other gauntlet, if you want to call it, found on that planet where Captain Marvel is when she transfers to Kamala's house. And of course you got, Monica Photon going to that vortex, whatever you want to call it there, and her being transferred too. And so that whole transferring thing, I think, was really well done. I liked how they kept having it, every time they use their powers, they were able to, basically kind of like, you get kind of a little bit of each character, a little bit here and there, like fighting and so forth and stuff like that. So I thought that was kind of fun until they finally kind of mastered it later on in the film. But super funny. I mean, Iman Vellani playing, Kamala Khan was absolutely hilarious. She cracked me up so hard throughout that whole movie. All her fangirling was absolutely freaking on point hilarious. And especially every time she saw somebody new, was so freaking funny, especially when you see Samuel L. Jackson too. You're just like, it's like she's like Nick Fury, and so like that, and you're just kind of like, oh, you're like, keep banging, girl, keep banging, girl. And I know some people were kind of like at first were like, she's fangirls too much, and I'm like, no, that's exactly what she would do. That's what somebody that has just recently gotten their powers, somebody that just recently, has always been a huge fan, what they would do. So I think that it was really well acted there. But I mean, the graphics for me throughout the first portion of this, you could definitely tell that they put a lot of kind of like construction into it. You could see that there was definitely moments where it was very CGI'd versus where it was a little more, I would say, coded properly to make it look more realistic. And I think that comes down to all the damn reshoots, unfortunately. I think that has a lot to do with why that looks like that. I did not see it in 3D, so I didn't really have too big of a problem with that when I saw it. But I definitely noticed some of the little differences and stuff like that. But like the introduction of the main villain, which is basically Ronin 2.0, I'm sorry, I just thought she was one of the worst bad guys in the MCU history. I mean, I would say she barely inches out the bad guy in Guardians Volume 3 by like a midge, because at least she had a little more finesse than that guy did. And basically it's like you like you were saying, Jeff, her whole eye thing and stuff like that. It's like, was there a point to it? Like, I didn't feel like there was a point to it. I don't think it helped her to look more evil or even, be this bad guy. It just made her look kind of like goofy a little bit. And, nothing against that actress. I just don't think the writing was there for her to make that a better villain than it was. And the fact that they, gender swapped it, made it a different version. Like, I feel like we don't really have a basis on this character as a female, so it's a little hard to take a masculine character and make it more feminine when you don't really have any, kind of like structure for it. So the writing just wasn't there for her, I think, too, and she could have been better. I most certainly, I'm sure that actress could do better. Which, by the way, she is Tom Hiddleston's wife. If you don't know that, but at the same time, I'm just like, what was this villain trying to do? Like, I would have preferred just Kang coming in at one point and being like, this is one of my minions. Try to work with her, like something like that. I think that would have been hilarious to bring in Kang at some point, because that's just how bad this villain was. But her introduction was, I mean, pretty basic, like pretty much any other villain I've seen. And I definitely think her fights could have been a lot better too as well, because they just didn't seem very well choreographed as some of the other fight sequences we saw throughout this film. And once again, I want to go back to that. That's probably because of reshoots. But I thought that the whole, like all the worlds that they showed in this pretty much the first third of the film, I thought looked all really great. I thought that, how Hala looked and how, Jersey looked and all those, and the space station like that looked all really well done. Like, they put a lot of effort into making those look really cool. I'm sorry, I absolutely love the Flurkin. I love Goose. I think he's absolutely freaking hilarious. I loved when Kamala screams when he eats those Kriegar guys. That was absolutely freaking hilarious. Even later on in the film, it gets even more hilarious. But that cat cracks me up every time he popped up on the screen, because I'm like, what the hell is he going to do now? Because in the first film, if you remember, like, he had a few brief moments that were pretty good. And he had, like, we saw him flying around in space a little bit and kind of like playing with things as he's flying. He's like being, airless and stuff like that. And then we saw him a couple times eat a couple people. And even the Tesseract, he eats the Tesseract. And so I'm like, ooh, what else can they do with this? And later on, we see what else they can do with it, which was absolutely freaking hilarious. But I mean, leading up to, them kind of like doing their girl thing together, learning how to control their powers as they switch to be more in sync. And the development of Captain Marvel in this film, I absolutely loved. I was so happy to see Brie Larson play a real person finally. She wasn't some robotic creature that was like invincible. It was nice to see her have emotion, have kind of a thought process versus how she was in the first film. And so I think that she really did a good job of conveying that and giving us this new Carol Danvers, or more like the Carol Danvers that we, that she was prior to her, being interacted with the cube or the Tesseract that gave her her powers. And, that whole situation there, all the tag team and stuff was really fun watching them like learn how to do it. The one-liners, the funny things that came out of it. Yeah, just like you were saying, Andres, the naming of Monica Rambeau, giving her all those different names, stuff like that was super funny. And yeah, if you look at the credits, she's credited as Photon. So at some point she has the name Photon, but she doesn't want to be called Photon for some odd reason, which I think is very funny. Because I feel even at the end of WandaVision, in the credits, if you look at it, it says Monica Rambeau / Photon. So I think that Monica does. I think that's really funny how she works with that. But yeah, Teyonah Parris, I think, does a really good job playing, Monica Rambeau too as well. She has some really good one-liners throughout these sequences as well, and I think all of them work really well. But yeah, I definitely think that Iman Vellani was the breakout of the three. Especially with her fangirling. It was just so stinking funny. But basically leading up to, after they learn how to do that, they want to take on the main villain in this. We have that sequence where, they basically have to save as many as they can. And unfortunately, Kamala having to deal with that issue, which is something she hasn't done yet, helps her to advance and grow as a superhero. And unfortunately, Carol having to kind of be mean to her at that point, you're kind of like, this is interesting. Like, this is definitely showing that you're starting to have more of emotions, Carol, and stuff like that, showing once again that just, Captain Marvel's finally becoming Captain Marvel, finally becoming more Carol Danvers again, learning about who she is. And that's fun. I mean, that one sequence there where they talk about her being the Annihilator was absolutely freaking hilarious. Basically, she thinking that she needed to go and, destroy the AI in Hala to be able to allow the Kree to live a better life. And actually, it makes it worse for them. And basically, her explaining kind of that later on in the film, we'll find out about that. But that whole sequence I thought was really well constructed and shot. Her just taking everyone out and all that kind of stuff and destroying that AI, which just cracks me up because I wish they really focused more on like what the AI was thinking as she's destroying it. And it's just like this AI machine's kind of been ruling Hala this whole time. You're thinking like, man, how powerful is this AI? I mean, is it like Ultron level AI? Is it like Jarvis? You know what I mean? So I think that would have been cool to kind of put more into that part. But that section was fun to see finally, like, oh, why was she gone for so long? Why did she not come back to Earth sooner and stuff like that? So that was nice to see something that showed kind of what she was doing.
Well, basically, you're talking about the Supreme Intelligence there a minute ago? Yeah. Basically, in the comics, she doesn't in the comics, she doesn't take a human form and all that shit and whatnot like she does, like the character does in the villain does in the first Captain Marvel film. The Supreme Intelligence in the comics, if I remember correctly, Andre, isn't it just like a big fucking green alien? Essentially, like a bunch of tubes and shit and whatnot and everything and all that shit.
In this movie, it's actually exactly how it looks in the comics. Because in the first Captain movie, they didn't show that at all when the Supreme Intelligence.
No, that's what I'm saying. That it does it in the comics. It never took human form. That's not what it did. You know what I mean?
No. It was basically Sordon from Power Rangers. Like it was like a
Yeah, that's what it looked like. Yeah, but no, basically it's like a hive mind kind of thing almost. Like basically the supreme intelligence like was connected to like everyone on Hala, on the Kree world. Like they like you know what I mean? Like it like basically like it did this. Andres, wasn't it connected to the entire basically the entire civilization and the planet and everything and whatnot, all that was all connected to it, right? Basically, like you know what I mean? It would almost like it could eat almost like your like memories and shit and whatnot, everything and whatnot. Live, you know, and
no. It's well, yeah. It's sort of true. It seemed like the Supreme Intelligence in this version was like he gave all the like directions and like
yes,
support, like all of that for Hela. You know, that's what it seemed like from the information we're getting from this movie.
it was it's an AI that's so advanced that it's almost like a AI god.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, you know, and it's a lot more powerful and whatnot and everything than they show in Captain Marvel in terms of like what it can do in a fight. Like you know, like it's either way. As far as Darben goes, yeah, the whole crazy eye thing, it wouldn't be so bad if she would have not done it so many times with had like the glow of the crazy eye while she was doing that crazy smile she was trying to do. That like, here's Johnny fucking smile along with the eyes, dude. She looked like friggin' a crackhead, kind of. You know what I mean? Like seriously, like that's how I mean that's kind of how crackheads look, except not as cleaned up, right? And with better hair. You know what I mean? Like you know, no, that's not really true. No, crackheads they don't usually typically have better hair than that. Even our Darben. But either way, I like Darben. I'm just telling you right now. I thought she was all right. Like she was pretty strong in the first like 2/3 of the film, right? I thought she was strong. I really did. Other than the crazy eye shit, I thought that like the fact that she uses one of those executioner fucking hammers was dope. I love those fucking things. They're awesome.
She's actually she's a accuser. That's what you call
Accuser,
it.
the accuser hammer. Yeah, she uses the accuser hammer. I love that. That thing is awesome. It's fucking dope. It really is. Anytime you see somebody swings a big ass hammer like that and whatnot, like I love that shit. But so as we get into like you know the planet which I thought they handled this well. This is what I was worried about, right? Because a lot of people on YouTube and whatnot made fun of this shit, the singing shit and whatnot and everything, and used that as just another reason to attack the film and whatnot and everything, right? Like, you know, before we even saw it, they were like, oh, there's a singing scene. It's like, okay, so there's a singing scene. Why don't we see it first? Right? Well, we did. And like, we went to the planet where they sing, and it didn't last for 20 minutes of singing or whatever, whatnot. They sang a little bit and whatnot, and it was fucking over. And then Captain fucking Bree danced with fucking the prince and whatnot. It's like it was a marriage of practicality, right? Like to help out the planet. But they never give us any in-depth explanation really with it and whatnot and everything, because I guess there's not enough time. I don't know. So we get no details about it and whatnot and everything, right? We don't even know what kind of relationship she has with the guy. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we don't know whether they're close. We don't see them we don't get a chance to see them like in private or nothing like that. Like nothing. So we don't know if like, you know, the prince is singing and sticking to, you know, sticking and moving and singing and doing harmonies and shit. Or what? But either way, I like the prince. The prince character was good. Whoever the actor was, I thought was pretty good. And I liked him. And basically at that point, Darben showed up and she's there to take the water, right? At the fucking singing planet. So they like, you know, military up to fight and shit, whatnot and everything. They suit the Marvels up. And I believe that uniform that Monica wears is her photon uniform. At least the color scheme is.
Yeah, it's
from the comics. Yeah, the green and the white. So, great action scenes in that part. Great action scenes in the battle. I love it when the prince tells Kamala, use your scarf.
Yes.
Dude, I'll tell you right now, I don't know if y'all thought this was like overboard or whatever, whatnot, and you all can tell me your opinions in a minute when I throw back at you. But Kamala, I don't know. Again, I don't know how far out this is from Miss Marvel, but Kamala can throw down compared to where she was at before when it comes to hand and whatnot and everything, and mixing it up besides her without her powers, right? So not only is she better with her powers, I almost thought that they kind of overdid it in terms of what she was capable of, just running around, jumping and kicking dudes and shit. Slide. She did that slide kick. One deal at one point, whatnot, everything, right? Right off the bat, she did a slide kick. I don't know how she's managed to advance like that. Like, is she training? Like, I just don't see her as she's like a fangirl. Like, I don't see her as like the type that was going to go train to fight. Either way, she looks good in combat. Bottom line, maybe she did train. Who knows? Maybe she's training for the Young Avengers. Either way,
oh, actually, I remember this. She was trained. Well, what was in the show? Like that, like Robin Hood people. She was like she had like a brief training.
Red Dagger motherfuckers, whoever, whatnot.
Yeah, yeah.
They trained her a little bit to use her powers.
Yeah, but yes, but also like in terms of fight, like hand to hand.
They only had like a day. That's all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. So
I know that, but it could actually explain why she's so good.
Okay.
At this. Like, you know,
All right.
like because I was thinking about that because now we were bringing up Jeff. I was like, oh yeah, but then I remember in the show it was like, oh wait, she was with those like red dagger things, whatever.
Well, either way, Captain Bree's strong, right? In the like the second third of the film, whatnot, everything in that first battle that they have that's on the water world and everything, whatnot, with the singing people. She's pretty dope in that. I'm liking her. I liked her flying. I had no problem with the flying effects or anything like that, whatnot, or her landings or how her powers looked or anything like that and whatnot. I liked how they all looked using their powers. The switching was kind of off and on sometimes because all of a sudden, for some reason, like you saw a couple of different times Monica used her powers, Captain Bree did too, and they didn't switch. But then the next time they used them, they switched. So I just thought that was a little bit inconsistent. That happened like more than once. I didn't know why that was. I didn't know why that happened. But either way, they're all getting after it. They're all fighting, but like basically it doesn't matter because the way that Dar-Ben has figured out how to use the bangle, and I think she uses the ship too, doesn't she, as a part of it, right? To pull the resources right into like the wormhole wall. Doesn't she use the ship as a part of that process? That really cool looking ship she has? Or is it just with the bangle?
Just with the bangle, I think.
Okay. Am I the only one Cyberneticshark that noticed that she was more powerful with one bangle than like Miss Marvel's, even close to Miss Marvel's power level with one bangle?
I didn't think she was that powerful. I thought she was pretty.
Yeah.
With one bangle, she squared off one-on-one, hand-to-hand with Carol, right? And like held her own.
Well, the Kree are aliens. And then with the explanation,
I know.
And then also
she's an executioner or a accuser, so she knows. I mean, so that no, she probably has super strength.
Yeah, and also the bangle can absorb their power, energy, and that's probably why she was that at least efficient to fight Captain Marvel. But yeah.
Either way, there's some really good. I was, right when I was like, damn, this it would be so much better at this point if we could get some space, like battle on battle action or something like that, or whatever, like some space fighter shit or whatever, whatnot, all that kind of crap. Bam, we get some, but it's not in space. It's actually like in the atmosphere of the planet, and Captain Marvel's killing ships and shit and whatnot, and Monica can't fly. Kamala can't help. She's too busy fangirling out, planning her fan fiction and all this shit and whatnot and everything, right? And basically, I thought it was weird Monica didn't know how to fly too. Like, what the fuck? It's like, why have you figured out how to fly yet? Either way, that was kind of weird, but I'll save it for the flaws. But either way, they lose basically. They don't really lose the fight on the planet, but they lose their water. It gets sucked the fuck out with the bangle. And once Dar-Ben sees the other bangle, she's not stupid. They both like power up and flare up and shit when they get near each other. So she's like, oh shit, I need that. Right? Like, that's to make me more powerful. I got to get that bitch. But she's not able to get it there. Right? She has to take off. I love their ships. You guys let me know what you think of those ships. I love them. I don't know if those are the same ones we saw that Rhoda had the same kind of ship of that structure, that shape in the Guardians of the Galaxy, but like I love them ships. I'm not even sure how to call that shape. But so we go right from there, and then we get kind of like some what's supposed to be emotional bonding scenes, whatever, whatnot, where you got like the Auntie Carol, Monica crying and whatnot, everything because Auntie Carol wasn't there and all that shit and whatnot and all that. I could love or hate that or take it or leave it. It was what it was. They kept it short. Captain Bree cried. I didn't think she really needed to cry over it. She's like, I couldn't go back home because I'm the Annihilator or whatever. I'm like, okay, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But it made sense, right? It made sense. And that was like moments like that is the only times when Kamala wasn't very useful, to me. You know what I mean? But that's just me. We move on from there, right? And at that point, we're going back and forth. We've got some interesting kind of funny scenes and whatnot. There's some humor and whatnot. Everything. We go back to what's what they call the peak in the comics, the space station. Basically they go. We go back there. We see Fury a couple times. Kamala's family's up there. The Florkins are there. They got the eggs, right? And I believe doesn't Darben attack at that point? Isn't that when she attacks the station? Basically,
No, it wasn't that. Like, what was it? Like, the ship is like new, and so like everything that's going on with the like portals is like it's overwhelming the ship.
Oh,
So
okay.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like that's another flaw about that film.
Well, at that point, we know that Darben's going for her son, because we hear Captain Marvel say she's going after all the planets I care about. So of course, Earth has to be the next one, right? So they're going there to get our son. So we do, of course, at some point get a short, scene or two in Hala. I thought the Hala scenes were good. You guys tell me what you think. I thought they were good. I mean, they were short. Would like more of them, to be honest with you. It would have been nice if they would have shown us more of Hala, whatnot, everything. We didn't get enough Darben. They didn't do enough of their arc, I thought. I think Andres or Cyber, one of you guys already said earlier, they didn't really do enough with her. She didn't get enough screen time, maybe, to build up her character. But either way, who knows? Bottom line, I thought she was good. And, at that point, where they're at in the film, basically, is where, yes, basically, she wants that bangle, right? She's going to get that damn bangle. And so, as Andre said, right, the space station is affected and damaged by whatever the fuck is going on with the multiverse being fucked up. The bridges, the wormhole walls being busted up and whatnot, everything from Darben abusing them and shit and whatnot by using the bangle, right, to do what she's doing. So at that point, that's when we get the scene where in the trailer I thought it looked stupid, but as I told Cyber once I watched half the movie, then I saw the trailer, I liked it because the use of the cats and the Florkins was actually cool. It was cute but cool. Like Kamala, she's cute and she's cool. She's fun. She's cute. She's that cute kid character or whatever, whatnot. And she does it well. So why not? Like Cyber said, it works. It probably work in any film that she's in. You can tell that she grew up a little bit too. Amon did. She grew a little bit. Maybe she got a little taller. But either way, at that point, we basically get to where, of course, they've got to abandon the station. So we get a great montage of scenes, especially with I know Cyber, you loved it when Kamala picks up the Flurkin that she can't stand and whatnot. She doesn't want to be near it, but she's using it to she's like, I'm sorry. That was a great, funny scene. It was good. People were laughing. Everyone was laughing in the theater and whatnot when it happened and whatnot. Everything, lots of laughing, right? I heard a lot of happy people in the theater. People weren't fist bumping or screaming, but they were happy. Nobody seemed unhappy with the film. But bottom line, so they evacuate, the space station, and It's heavily damaged. They have to get everybody out of there, which they do. And basically at that point, Dar-Ben's gone is on her way to get the sun. She knows they're going to come get her. So that's going to be her chance to try to get the bangle. And they do. They try to fight her, right? And I'll stop there before we get into that big fight. Cyber, sir, what are your thoughts on that? Second, third of the film, the dancing planet, right? The prince, that fight scene, those action sequences and whatnot, those long action sequences with Captain Bree flying, right? Smashing the ships and shit, whatnot, everything, all the different marvels in combat, how you thought of their fighting, use of skills and whatnot, everything hand to hand. Then all the funny stuff, you know what I mean? All the stuff I covered, and then anything I missed, right? That you want to pop out.
So basically, this section of the film is the only part that had a moment that I was like, oh god, they could have kept this completely out. I thought the singing planet was the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. Hated it. I absolutely hated it. I thought it was so fucking stupid. But I was glad it was really short. They didn't take a whole bunch of time with the singing portion of it. But I mean, from there on, I mean, you get some really great action sequences. With all the different marbles themselves, kicking butt, transferring places, kicking butt at the same time. The fight with Captain Marvel and Tarzan. I totally think that Captain Marvel should have been able to take her on very easily. And I think that it was showing a lack in how powerful Captain Marvel was. And they were trying to make a villain that was pretty weak, seemed more powerful than she was. And, they were trying to use that as, between having the Executioner hammer and then having the bangle, it made her a little more powerful. And I'm like, oh, okay, fine, whatever. But I definitely think that, she didn't bring up her powers enough. I don't think Captain Marvel showed her powers as good as she has in previous films. So I was a little sad about that, but still, I think she really did a great job of fighting and kicking butt, and I definitely think that her fighting has improved since the first Captain Marvel film. And just leading up, all that action there just was really fun. I wish it had went on longer. I wish they had cut out that stupid musical scene and given us more to make it a 2-hour-long film. I just thought that was all really done well. Visually, it was really amazing. The flying and stuff like that. I mean, definitely, like everyone said, there's a few like scenes where you're seeing that you can definitely see it's very CGI'd, but at the same time, you have to really be looking for it to see it. I don't really think it's as evident as a lot of people are saying, but I noticed only because I had heard certain spots that they were talking about, so I had noticed it. But overall, that whole sequence, that I would say that section of the film was really done well, really fun. I thought Nia DaCosta did a decent job there with what she, was put together, which I was really shocked with how bad-mouthing she was, batting her own film. I thought she still did a good job, giving us some pretty good action sequences there. Great, fight choreography by everyone. I loved just how they, the three embraced themselves to become the Marvels, to, be a team. And I like that kind of sisterly bond that they started creating there. And, leading up to, the final battle, really well done. Really fun. Enjoyed it.
Andre's a home culture guy.
Yeah. So yeah, the dancing planet thing. Look, I wasn't first off, I wasn't bothered by the whole Destiny Planet thing at all because they didn't really spend enough time on this dance thing. So I never got why people thought that and the flirkin eating people thing was gonna be, that was the marking part for everyone that they didn't like this film. And it's like, well, first off, this scene, which is so 10 minutes quick of the dance scene and people singing. So it was like, oh wow, it was quick. I mean, if they made it longer, then it could have been a problem, but it was fine. But I did find it kind of, why do we need it to be in the scene, and like especially to warn them that a threat was coming. Like it didn't make sense. I think they could have done more differently from that, but whatever. Yeah, but it had one of my favorite lines, like when Carol, Carol explained to, was it Monica and Kamala about the prince being bilingual. That made me chuckle and made me laugh. I was like, "You're bilingual, like you can sing and properly talk than anyone else in that planet." That's funny. That was really great. But man, that Prince actor, apparently he's like the most popular senior in what the Asia countries, and like he's barely in this movie, which is kind of funny. And then it was also funny. I was joking with my Chris when Carol brought up like this was what like practical reasons, marriage or something like that. Like it was funny that she got married for this political reason to control the planet and whatnot. It was very funny. She got married, but she's not with this guy Owl. So really bizarre thing for marriage. But yeah, this part was really fun. I disagree with Jeff. I was kind of happy we didn't have like a space battle. Like we've seen that so many times in Star Wars, Star Trek, and other space films. I kind of like the battleships in planets more. Like it kind of like Rogue One level, and so it was kind of cool we got that for this sequence, which was really neat. And it was cool to see the three main leads working together and like try to like get the bangle. So that was really good part of everyone, because now that we got the montage training thing, so like they were prepared. So that was really cool. uh so this sequence was very, very nice. And when like Kamala and when they go to this random cornfield alien planet or whatnot, when we get the Carol Monica, bonding. I agree with you, Jeff, because that you can take it and leave it, because it's supposed to be a meaningful character development thing. But the thing is, the movie doesn't spend time on it of the Carol and Monica relationship, so it's very hollow. I think we just yeah. And what was funny? Carol randomly changed into a new costume, like a princess from like a Disney movie, as well. That was also a funny moment when she just like randomly changed to like a princess dress.
Yeah, but it had the Captain Marvel colors, and it had the little insignia thing.
Yeah, yeah. No, I like that, but it was funny. It's just like like no explanation. It's like, oh, I just found it funny that they did that. Like anyway, but yeah. So the cornfield thing was kind of like you can take it or leave it, because it's like, should I care? Like you're barely spending time with this like relationship that you like set up with Monica in Wandavision, and like it's like you barely taking boxes of this thing. So it was really late, and yeah, and Kamala was a little awkward in that sequence, but that was kind of like the comedic B of it, which was fine. I didn't mind that. Like I mean, Kamala was funny in that sequence, which is fine. Now I didn't mind the Firkin when it cut to me. They're gonna use the Firkins to suck everyone in the cats so they can escape to the pods. That's maybe the most genius and funniest thing from this movie, which I love. But at the same time, I had to say the scenes with Nick in the Saber station make no sense at all with this movie. Like you can easily cut out this whole plot of the station, really. Like why we need this whole sequence of finding the eggs and all that, and then like why did Nick brought the family of Kamala there? Like they didn't make
I don't
sense.
know. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, like it was so stupid on Nick, and so I think this you can easily cut that and make and put more character development here with Monica, or like more of the villain plot more, right? So yeah, that was my part. But the Flurkin thing is great. I don't really care about this Flurkin thing. I don't like. I like the cat, but my thing is we're pushing this notion that the cat Flurkin is like the most popular thing, but for me, like a lot of us, for me, it's taking up too much time for important things like character development or like the plot of the film that should be more important, you know. But again, like I enjoy the cats, the cat scene and the people thing, and plus the song is from Cats, the musical, so I find that very funny that they did that. So it was okay. But yeah. So before we go to the final battle, I think that the sequence was actually my favorite part about the movie. Like I think the pacing was good. It was getting better because the beginning it was a little rough, but here this section I think I enjoyed more in the movie because of Kamala Khan. Like again, her family and here just helped save the film for me.
Okay. And so at that point, we do get what would be, I guess you could call the final battle, essentially, or the final big fight, where we do, see the three ladies give us what is at least, I don't know if it's the best action scene, but it's the best 3-on-1 fight of them actually as the Marvels taking on Darban. And they pulled it off well. It was well choreographed, I thought. And of course, they're trying to take the bangle, right, from Darban. They understand how dangerous it is, the concept of like her even having the one, but having two of them, right? So they want to get that bangle off of her no matter what, so she can't, double up or even have the one she has. Because then she won't be able to suck, resources anymore or whatnot, or suck the sun up. So she's going to take our sun on Earth, and she says the annihilate. I love every time she says annihilator. She says it so profoundly, like the annihilator. It sounds like something Arnold would say in like Total Recall, essentially, right? I can see Arnold saying that, but like in a different way or whatever. He'd be better at it though. So no, we get some great. I wish I could play it. I wish I could play that fight scene because it's really good. At one point they actually get the hammer from Darban, right? And Monica and Captain Bree both wield it against her, but they don't know how to use it like Darban does, so they're not very effective with it. But she stands her ground to all three of them. She's very freaking powerful with that bangle, man. And like, of course, even though they know she absorbs energy, you still see Photon blasting away on her ass, right? Like, oh, I'm saying, like, I'm like, what the hell are you doing? And then Captain Bree does the same shit. I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you fueling her up with energy? Right? Like, you're not helping yourself out here. Hats off, you guys, mentioning how well they did how well they did with evolving Kamala's powers, right? They were great. She used them great in the film. Not so much maybe in that 3-on-1. She used them pretty decent, but not as well as I thought we saw her use earlier, like when she got stuck in the air in one of those switches. That was pretty dope. How she stopped herself. All right, brother. Take care, Raymond. We love you, brother. Appreciate you. Raymond from Boost and Chill Podcast YouTube channel. Good friend of the MCU'S Bleeding Edge. So essentially, Captain Bree basically punch blasts Darben up into a fucking wall. She falls down and debris falls on her and she gets stuck with some fucking like space rebar or some shit or some jagged rock, like pierces her. She pretends to be dying, right? And all this shit and whatnot and all that. And like, you think that like she's gonna there's like this tender moment and whatnot and everything where Captain Bree's like, look, just give me the bangle, right? Like, I can fix your son, right? Like I will. I'll fix it. Like I'll fix Hala. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll save Hala, right? Because Monica, who is sort of like the Reed Richards of the Marvels, although she's a little bit too profound sometimes, and like she seems like she's a little bit above her pay grade a little bit and whatnot with how quickly she's able to figure out some of this stuff sometimes, the multiverse stuff and whatnot. It's like, okay, but either way, so basically Darban like fools them. She plays possum. She's not dying. The minute that she's freed, right, she fucking jumps up and they show a pretty savage scene of her picking up her hammer and she's gonna squash fucking Kamala's head, right? And it was pretty authentic looking. Like it was scary. and Kamala, Milani acted it out very well, I thought. But basically, at that point, Dar-Ben gets both the Bengals, and what a shock. The two Bengals together and whatnot, when you activate them and try to use them and whatnot, the power's too much, and like they basically just kill you. Well, Dar-Ben, all of a sudden, for the whole time in the film, she's actually not a dumbass, but then she becomes a complete dumbass. And for some reason, doesn't even listen to whoever, whatnot, and everything, and like puts them both on just so she can eviscerate herself completely. Right? So after we thought she was going to, like, end up at least dying with some like legitimacy, like dying with some integrity. She wasn't going to do all that. She's down, she's down for the team when it comes to Hala, down for the cause. So bottom line, all this shit, all this this stress on the wormhole wall there, whatnot, everything that sort of gets broken up. Just there's a hole gets punched into it, and that hole basically leads into another dimension, right, or another reality, right? And you can see it. You can actually see inside of it. There's some good shots in there, not a lot. They're like great, but there's especially right in the beginning of the film, when you see Captain Marvel get out of her ship and fly in space. There's a great shot of her suspended in the air, or whatnot, everything that I thought was awesome right from jump. A couple good shots of her in space. I thought at the end too. There's a really good shot of her when she's flying. But either way, so Monica decides that she already knows what to do with this like damage to the fabric of the wormhole wall and whatnot everything to seal up the hole and whatnot everything and restore the wall in between these two different realities. Basically her solution is to get powered up by the Bengals, right? By not by the Bengals, but by getting juiced up by Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel, right? Wasn't that basically the gist of it? Didn't they just basically shoot a shitload of energy into her?
Yes. Okay.
She makes herself into a huge battery.
Yeah, basically, so that she was able to push the other side to be closed. That was
to close it up. Yeah, and basically, while doing that, I don't know. That was kind of a weird scene where she acted like a god and everything with all the power in her and whatnot. She turned white eyes and shit. She had the Darwin eyes too, and then she loses it or whatever whatnot everything while she's fixing the thing and it's just I'm just gonna go to sleep or whatever whatnot. And she ends up stuck in the fucking other universe, the other reality.
No. She sacrificed to close it.
Yeah, she sacrificed to close it. She got stuck over there in the other reality.
She didn't lose any power after that.
I didn't say she did. I said she got stuck in the other reality.
No. You say something else.
No, I didn't.
Anyway, just after that, Carol was gonna go try to rescue her because she
she missed her.
Yeah, and then but she missed her. Like in a minute.
She missed her, and so the movie ends with Kamala basically going back to the to the Earth, seeing Nick, telling Nick that they lost Monica. Captain Bree staying in space, doing her thing, whatever, whatnot, and all that, hanging out with Florkins and shit, and who knows what. Oh, she's going to her. She goes to fix the sun in Hala, and that's just too easy. I'm sorry, but I even said to the guy behind me in the theater, I'm like, dude, that was too easy. She just flies into it and immediately becomes the fucking sun in less than 5 seconds. I'm thinking to myself, shouldn't this take longer? Do you know what I'm saying? It's a fucking sun, right? Seriously. So either way, she does bring the sun back. It was actually pretty positive that she wanted to, to basically make up for being the Annihilator. She doesn't like being called the Annihilator. Who would like that? Right? So at least from that perspective, things end on a good note. She does restore the sun, and they have air and water now and whatnot in Hala, so they can live, which is good, right? That's what Dar-Ben wanted. That's all she was fighting for, basically. She didn't hate everybody and whatnot. Everything. She wanted her planet back. And her people were suffering. So at that point, we end up in Louisiana, and for some reason, the Villani family, Amon's family, Kamala's family moves to Louisiana from Jersey, which is not a good move. I've already done that from New York. Not a good move, folks. You're not living there. And they go to live at the Rambeau residence, right? Because it's empty. And there's some funny shit there and whatnot and everything, and that's basically the end of it. And then we get the post end, the end credit, and we get the mid credit scene. The post credit is basically Monica waking up. No, first of all, it's Miss Marvel, drafting the Young Avengers with Kate Bishop, who looks a lot older. And Cyber told me how old she actually is. I didn't grasp how old she was, but she's actually 28, 27. 27. Yeah, she looks older. She looks a lot older than she did. Unless that was makeup, she looks a lot older than she did in Hawkeye. And I don't know how I feel about that. You guys can tell me what you think about the Young Avengers. I don't know what to think about all that. I thought it was a cute scene. I think it's cool that Miss Marvel's going to be involved. I don't know what y'all think. You can tell the folks. But then we also get Monica waking up, sort of quasi WandaVision, and we see the Beast. And we also see her mom, but it's not really her mom. It's just her mom's other self, her other, dimension self, being like, "Who the fuck are you?" Right? You know what I'm saying? Whatnot, everything. And the Beast for the X-Men is there, but it's not the new Beast, whatnot, never Nicholas Hoult Beast. It's actually Kelsey Grammer Beast. So there you go, and that's it. And then there's the final credit and whatnot, everything, where Darmin comes back and gets her hair done. Gets her hair did, right? Andres hooks her up with Angela Bassett, and they get that shit straightened out.
No, Jeff did this.
They get that straightened out so Darmin can some dude can plow her and get rid of them crazy fucking golden eyes and shit, whatnot. They're fucking her up her look, right?
No, you have to have privilege to actually do it in my dimension. So Darvan got it from somewhere else. So just letting everyone know that in the time cop dimension.
Well, I like a lot of interesting shit, but if I met Darben and whatnot, we were going on a date and whatnot, and she flashed that crazy smile at me with those fucking glowing eyes and shit, bro, I'd leave. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, I'm sorry, but you're too crazy for me, bro. I can't handle all that. And you got crazy fucking golden eyes too. So, Cyber, what do you think, bro? Final third of the film. Lay it all out. Don't hold anything back. Take as much time as you want, because this will be it, and then we'll rate. And we'll get you the hell out of here so we can review WandaVision episode 4, baby. What is it? Don't interrupt or something to interrupt your state
program.
Yeah, okay, there we go. Great episode. So what do you think, Cyber?
So the final part of this film is really fun. It was very enjoyable. I enjoyed it. I liked everything they did with it. The action was really well done. Her demise, I absolutely clapped out loud when she died. Because, like I said, I think she's the most horriblest, stupidest villain ever. And I absolutely when she disintegrated, I'm like, whoa, that was easy. And, when Photon basically has to go and, fix the breakage in the dimensions, that was really cool. I like watching how it reassembled itself, and stuff like that. My first thoughts were like, I wonder where Doctor Strange was while this was going on. Was he helping Miss Charlize Theron while this was going on? Like, what's going on with Doctor Strange? He should have been here. And but that was really cool how it all came back together, and she fixed it, and how powerful she became, and like the eyes changing and stuff like that, where it's just kind of a part of her powers. Because she actually, if you recall in watching WandaVision, there's a couple times when she takes in certain energy, her eyes turn that color. So that's just a part of her powers. And I really enjoyed like her sacrificing herself. I thought that was interesting. And like as soon as she basically the dimensions closed, and I was like, she's on the other dimension. She'll be fine. I'm like, she's not dead or anything. Of course, all of them are sad and stuff like that. But to mention the Flurkin section of the film, which is just, pretty much I find the Flurkin section kind of the end of the film. That was freaking hilarious. And the fact that, Goose was laying eggs this whole freaking time throughout the movie was absolutely freaking hilarious. Like, they looked like dragon eggs, and I'm like, what the hell is it going on?
Looked like brains.
Yeah, the brains, and it was like the whole like all the people like bringing them to Nick Fury. And he's like, I don't know what the hell these are. Was like absolutely hilarious. And then when they all hatched, there were other cats. I was cracking up, and then them deciding, oh, so in order to save everyone, you got to be eaten by a Flurkin. I'm like, oh my god.
Oh, when they played it on the PA system?
Yeah, it's absolutely freaking hilarious. And so many people were like running and were scared and shit when they knew they had to do it, which was really funny. Absolutely hilarious. Really well done. I thought the CGI was really done well with that too. And when they all escape in little pods and they end up landing on Earth and stuff like that, and the cats are all like puking up the people, it was so freaking hilarious. But I mean, like I said, how the ending goes, that final battle was just so fun because it was so well choreographed, it was so well constructed, and Monica, Tiana Paris, Captain Marvel, Brie Larson, Imana Balani, Kamala Khan, they all developed their characters so much from their previous installments, and I was just so impressed with it. It was so fun to see them grow so much since they were in their previous films, and just like how they all dealt with what had to go on and stuff like that in such a short runtime was really impressive too. And like I said, I think this movie should have been over 2 hours. Even like the first one, it should have been like 2 hours 10, 2 hours 15 minutes. They could have cut that stupid dance sequence and put a lot more back into it. So I'm looking forward to seeing when they do the extras for it, how many extended scenes there are, how many deleted scenes there are, and stuff like that, and see if that would have made the film better and more coherent. Because definitely there were parts where you're kind of like, I get it, but at the same time, like, it doesn't fit properly in the continuation of the story. And the fact that this was supposed to come out prior to Secret Invasion, that really throws people off too. Because, like you were talking about Maria Hill earlier, Jeff, she's not dead at this point if this was supposed to be prior to Secret Invasion. So where was Maria Hill during this time, if she was supposed to be still alive? And why wasn't she there helping Nick Fury? But I did love the fact that Nick was back to his normal self in this film. It was nice to see him like that. That was really awesome. So I really appreciate that he was like that in this film. But the whole ending was really well done, really enjoyable. Great demise of the villain. Great way to end the film. I mean, it was hilarious when they had the, Young Avengers, kind of like a little preview there with Kate Bishop. I yelled out loud, Haley Steinfeld! And I was like, holy crap, what is she doing in this? And them kind of, pointing towards that direction. I was like, wow, they actually are going this way. That's cool. And then the Beast one, the wife yelled out loud when that happened. And the whole theater heard her. It was absolutely freaking hilarious. And it was so funny, but at the same time, it was just like, holy crap. I can't believe they actually used Kelsey Grammer's Beast. I was like blown away by that. I'm like, wow, they really, when they were going to put out the X-Men type of teaser, let's use something that people are assimilated with or, familiar with. And I was like so happy they decided to go that route because, I'm sorry, but Kelsey Grammer was so awesome as Beast in Last Stand. I loved him in that. So fantastic, so well done. And the fact that they only had the Beast in out of the first 3 20th Century Fox X-Men films, I was kind of sad that they only had him in the third film. That was nice about those reboots that James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, and all them did, Nicholas Hoult, is that they had Beast throughout all of them. And that was awesome to see him because I think Beast is a really underrated character. He's such a great character. Not only is he tough as nails and, can kick butt, he's so super smart, almost like Professor Xavier smart. So it's like, it was awesome to see him throughout that. So having the Kelsey Grammer one was just so cool. I really enjoyed that. But great post-credit scene, great mid-credit scene. Can't wait to see where those go. Be interesting to see where all these characters go. Where Monica ends up. Where she has ended up. What Earth she's on. It'll be interesting to see where Amani goes as Kamala Khan. and it's going to be interesting to see what else they do with Brie Larson as Captain Marvel. So, really great film. Really enjoyed it. Really fantastically done. Like I said, I was really surprised at how good it was.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for me, the Fergans eating the people was really funny. I mean, of course, Kamala saying "I'm sorry" and like blocking the person so that he doesn't escape was like hilarious. And then you see it like it became a horror movie just for a minute because people were gonna be eaten by cats. So it was very funny. But the funny part was when like okay, every person was eaten by the Firkin, and it was the part where Nick and the Kamala family like had to be in the pod, and they were going down, and like it's just so hectic, and I brought this up early. It was funny, that Kamala's father was was praying, and then Nick said, don't stop praying. They were going down to the earth, which is funny. The final battle, Jeff, the band was like hit actually hard from that like brick, and they did stab her like kind of I don't know how you can kill a Creed with that brick, but like it was enough like wound from that. But the battle scene was really good. I really enjoyed it. It was well choreographed and all that. The thing that I find it kind of jarring was like you can tell it was a reshoot because like where was her army? What was her lackey that she had throughout the film? That like other Kree man, right? Excuse me. And so it was kind of odd that we were like in this ship, and with this, there was like no army in this ship. It was just like Darban. It was funny. Yeah, and the death was hilarious because she had two like bands, and it was like like she had to combine the two bands to open the big portal to suck the sun, and it was just funny that she like I always laugh when villains don't listen to the hero that this is not going to work, and then it did not work, and this was probably the worst of them all. Like she heard what the Marvels say to her about what's gonna happen if you have these two bangles together and open a portal. But she didn't care, and she did this throughout the film. Like her lackey explained that we need to do more tests on the bangle to see what they can do, but also safety reasons. But she kind of annoys her lackey and just used the bangle to open the portals. So she was already like a rash kind of person. Like she didn't took her time or like conscious of what the bangles could do to her if it was like it was gonna really affect her mentally and physically. But that was her fault. She was stupid. So I was happy she died. She's probably the worst MCU villain of all time. I mean, she beats. I cannot believe like Marvel thought let's make Rowan and Malekith the cursor together and make that even a much worse supervillain that they have made. So I think she beats Malekith and Rowan as the worst villains of the MCU, which I'm very shocked. I mean, there's a lot of worse villains in MCU, but Malekith, Malekith.
I don't think Ben is the worst.
She has the same problem with Malekith, where they had like I think a great villain, but her scenes have been cut out from the film. So she's like, I get her motivation. That's the thing. I like she has a motivation. I understand, but she just doesn't have enough scenes to like be a good villain. You know what I mean? Which is sad. And that's the fault of Marvel Studios. So yeah, then then we get to Monica, talking, science babble junk, which I, I'm thinking as we're rewatching WandaVision because I never took Monica as a scientist. Like she wanted to be like a what was it like her mom to be like a fire flyer, right? So how she knows all these scientific things? That doesn't make sense. That just I don't know. It's the same thing with Cassie. I hated that they made the characters to be the science person, and it's like you have another science person or have someone else to take that role. Like, why we need to use that person to be that? I don't get it. Like, Monica wasn't a science person when we got introduced to her at WandaVision, so this was kind of weird in this movie. But anyway, so she, they like, Kamala gets the two bangles together with her. They start to blast Monica with the energy. I in the comics they use the white energy. Like that's a theme from the comics, so it makes sense that she has that. I also reflect the costume as well, so it makes sense. Um, yeah, then she opened the portal, trying to close the portal, and then Carol is pleading her to come out and you know, uh, not stuck in the dimension. And so it was trying to be this dramatic thing. It's like we don't think she's gonna be stuck anyway. So, so she got stuck, and then Carol, like, sad and all that, and Kamala as well. Kamala was very sad. I felt Manali did a good job with the being very sad after the aftermath, which was just really good. Um, yeah, and so like just jumping into the ending. No, Jeff, the Manali family, the Kamala family are not moving in. It's actually Carol moving in. They're just helping
Oh,
her
they're
to
helping.
move. Yeah, because there was a moment when the mom saw the like this dish. They
Yeah.
had Carol and the prince picture, and she said, "Oh, it looks good." And she Carol replied to the mom that you could keep it. It's so funny. He's just like keep it, and oh my god, I don't know if you guys laugh at this. Was the brother had the remote and he was trying to stop his mom to talk. Like it was like he was trying to use the remote as like a gadget or something like that. That was very funny. Anyway, you're on mute, sir. Okay. Anyway, so yeah. So then we get to the Young Avengers tease. I think like they're building to the Young Avengers already. We already been introduced to the Young Avengers. Actually, American Chavez is part of that team. Um, the Isaac nephew from Falcon and the Winter Soldier. He's actually a comic book character, Patriot. So he's going to be Young Avengers. The twins, of course, well, Wanda's kids are part of that team as well. So it makes a lot of sense here. And she brought up Cassie as well, as another Ant-Man. So like she's also like Cassie Lane is part of the Young Avengers, so it makes sense they're gonna build to that. It's just like when we're gonna see the Young Avengers is just the question in terms of the phases, but they gotta build it anyway. So and then the X-Men post credit scene. So I want to just discuss briefly the binary. So Marie, this version of Marie is called binary. That's something that Monica had in the comics, or Carol, I think, in the comics, where she joined with the X-Men because she got more powerful and she became a new character named Binary. So that's what we're seeing with this new version of Marie, this variant of Marie role in the X-Men universe. So that's connected to the comics and the X-Men stuff. I agree with Cyber. I mean, I love Kelsey Grammer. He's like the best thing about X-Men 3 The Last Stand. And look, like, I was so happy. If you're going to bring any defunct actors back to play a character again, it was always Kelsey Grammer as Beast. He is the definitive voice for Beast. And like, it was great to see him again here. And his the CGI look of the Beast is okay, but it's actually harkening back from the comics and looks pretty good. I hope they spend more money when we see Beast, and I think it could look good. But I still prefer the makeup look from X-Men: The Last Stand. So that was really cool to see, hear Kelsey Grammer, because he's such a great actor and he's such a great like voice for Beast. So I'm very happy that out of the actors to bring in Beast makes the most sense, which is great. Because I was sad that like he got a cameo in Days of Future Past, and then we got the Nicholas Hoult Beast, which I'm not a fan of. I like the actor Nicholas Hoult, but that Beast wasn't Beast like Kelsey Grammer's Beast from X-Men 3. So I am very happy we're gonna get Kelsey Grammer again. So but yeah. So,
No, that Beast was more like the original Beast with the original Avengers team back in the day in the 60s or whatever, or the 40s, whatever the fuck it was, or 50s or whatever, when you got your original five X-Men or whatever it was.
yeah, the First Class. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I'm just talking about depiction. Like Beast, well, he accepted who he is with his blue form, and with Nicholas Holt's version is like I didn't like that he was or like very much a Hulk, because he was in and out with the makeup, and I didn't like that. Where with Kelsey Grammer, he was like in the makeup full time, and like he was Beast. That like I just take issue with the reboot, how they handle some of the characters like Mystique and Beast and the reboot stuff. Anyway, it's a long story. When we get to first class, Days of Future Past, I'll talk about that.
All right, give me your rating.
I go first, I guess. Okay. This one's a tough one. I'll be reasonable. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. It's not a great film. It's such a hodgepodge kind of film that you question your reality. Like I disagree with Cyber when was it Kamala was doing her, she was daydreaming about her and this Captain Marvel, and then all of a sudden she was in her costume. I was like, whoa, wow, that was quick. And Cyber explained that. I was like, oh yeah, I wasn't losing my mind. Edit was weird. But but I will say,
You just contradicted yourself there. You said you disagreed with me.
oh, I agree with you. I'm sorry. I agree with the comment you say. Anyway, that's what I'm losing my mind now. That's it. Anyway, I'm losing my mind.
In the time cop dimension.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm talking too much with Angela Bass. Anyway,
Smoking that weed, that 2077 weed.
yes, but here's the thing: if you didn't like the first Captain Marvel movie, don't go see that movie. Just go see this movie. I think The Marvels was a better Captain Marvel movie over that first film. Despite I like certain things about the first movie, I think this was much better because it has Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan was great, and so I will watch this movie again, no matter what, because it's Miss Marvel, and I think she was the best thing about the movie. Where Captain Marvel was just a genetic, like just step by step Marvel formulatic film, So I highly recommend seeing this movie over the first film. I think this was way better than the first Captain Marvel.
I think that I don't want to I'm not going to pat myself in the back because I picked Miss Marvel as my number one Disney Plus series that came out last year or whatever. Actually, no, I picked that out of everything that came out of the MCU last year. My bad. Didn't I, Cyber? Wasn't that my number one out of everything for Marvel last year? Was Miss Marvel, right? There you go. So, I think it was Kamala. It was Iman. That's what it was. I think that's why I like the series so much when it really boils down to it. Sure, I thought it was well produced. I think Cyber, you agree with to some extent that it was well produced or whatnot. Everything in it flowed well episodically compared to some of the other shows like Moon Knight, right? It stayed consistent. It didn't trail off too badly in one episode or anything like that, whatnot. There was just that one scare a little bit with episode 5. Remember when we thought things were kind of going to go to shit? You know what I'm saying? But they turned it around in the finale. You know what I mean? And whatnot and everything, and they got better, right? They redeemed the show, I thought. They could have collapsed right there, but it didn't. I think it was, if anything, it was Iman. I think that she probably was the glue to all that. Obviously, it was her show. It's unfortunate so few people saw it or watched it or whatever. I hope people go back and watch it. I really do after this movie. I think people will. I'm going to give the movie a 7.5. I almost wanted to give it an 8, but I'm going to give it a 7.5 because Dar Ben is really not all that great. She could have been better, I think, like Gore. Not to Gore level, but she could have been better like Gore. If they would have done something better with her arc or given her more screen time, or if maybe, who knows, maybe they cut out some really good scenes with her or some shit like that. We just never saw, right? We don't know what got thrown out, right? Who the fuck knows? What action shit we still didn't get to see or whatever, whatnot, everything. I'm sure there was probably lots of action that they took out, whatnot, we didn't get to see. Them use their powers and shit. I like to see them use their powers. That was the coolest shit for me. I like their powers. I do. It was really cool. I like you watch people use powers. The Captain Marvel was good. I had to fucking keep it real, Cyber. I said that fucking like I was optimistic that Captain Marvel 2 might be better than the first movie at least and whatnot. Maybe it might be entertaining or like.
Oh, you didn't. You crapped on this
on.
movie so hard. It was hilarious.
As a guest on the Podcast of Champions, I did say one show and whatnot, everything that yes, overall, when it boils down to it, I did hope that the second Captain Marvel film, back when it was going to be Captain Marvel 2, would at least be better and like be something worth watching or whatnot, everything, because Captain Marvel, the first one was so well, badly directed, so badly written that I don't think it was all Bree's fault. I think it was other people that were involved in it being bad. That's all I'm saying. I think she sucks too, at least in that film. But she sort of redeemed herself in this movie. What do you think, Cyber? Did she redeem herself a little bit?
Yeah, like I said throughout the whole review, I really enjoyed the evolution of her character, that she showed more emotion. She became a woman. I appreciated that. I thought that Brie did a good job. I don't have a problem with the first movie. I love the first movie. I think it's fantastic. I think it was well written. I like the directing of that film better than this one. But I still give this one a solid 10 because I just loved it. It entertained me. And that's all that matters to me. If it entertains me, it gets a 10. Hands down. That's it.
Wow.
I think that, you know what? Like, in all honesty, with Cyber and everybody, when you do this for a long time, you start to have to kind of like, if you change your ratings up a little bit and whatnot to the par of what we're getting from the MCU. So I get where Cyber's coming from. You know what I'm saying? Whatnot at this point overall, like I think for a lot of us, like, right? Like if we're just entertained, it's a 10. Right? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's that simple, basically. If they make Wakanda Forever 3 tomorrow, as long as it's entertaining, it's basically a 10. It's not a 5. You know what I'm saying? It becomes less. It's not terrible anymore. It's a 10. We'll see though. Either way, sorry that Shark, sir, you are tired. We'll let you go. Thanks for coming on and doing the review with us, sir. We really appreciate it.
No problem.
I'll carve this bitch out and whatnot, everything, and throw it up as a 1 hour and 51 minute review. You know, an actual regular. Oh, we did an actual regular review like we would any other movie.
Yep.
What a surprise. Hey, you know what? You got to give me credit though, right? Like, outline or no outline and whatnot and everything, right? I've gotten pretty good at keeping my shows right at 2 hours or underneath.
You're getting better, sir. I will give you that.
I'm tightening up. I'm trying. Even with bigger panels too, I'm learning how to like adjust and like keep it a little short and whatnot and everything, right?
Yes, sir.
And I'm skimming my outlines more and whatnot, everything, and passing things up and whatnot, leaving them out and just letting the panel handle the business. But we'll see you soon, brother. We'll see you on Wednesday for the Infinity Saga review of Avengers Infinity War Part 1 that Cyber is moderating, and I got Part 2.
Yes.
It's gonna be fun.
Gonna be the best.
It's gonna be awesome, baby.
Gonna be awesome.
We're gonna get to see that awesome. Peace. We'll see you later.
See you soon. Have fun in the Time Cop dimension, Andres.
Thank you.
Tell John Claude I said hi.
We need a special outro for Cyber when he dips off. Like when he comes to the Bleeding Edge report, we need to have a special outro for him so we can play it when he leaves.
Probably the Bloodsport.
Hey, my thumbnail looks really good as a background. How about that? It lined up perfect, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Yep.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
I got better, haven't I?
It did.
Andrea, the pop culture guy, has seen me work on my craft with my thumbnails and whatnot and everything. Since I first met him, I've definitely gotten better. Even I've noticed it. Although I got to work on like trying to change my structure to them and whatnot and everything, and using some more like horizontal and angled lettering and whatnot and everything, right? Just to make things interesting instead of always having the same sort of kind of formula that I use.
I mean, it's fine. You know?
Oh, it's nice to have consistency. You know that whenever I do Star Wars, it's always the same formula, right? You've seen it before.
Yeah. Keep the phone.
I pick a picture from one of the trailers or whatever, whatnot. I put up, the episode title and whatnot, everything, and it says review, and then I put up one of those Star Wars symbols for the Rebels or whatever, whatnot, or for the Empire or for Andor or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mandalorians, and I put that in the corner.
Oh my god. It was funny you say keep the formula. You know, from Green Goblin from the first Spider-Man movie. When he grabs his assistant, he's like, keep the formula. And
It's amazing how time flies by when you're live streaming, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, holy fuck, we just did a full 2-hour fucking review of the Marvels, dude. Like, so much for an hour. I should have known that wasn't going to work.
I mean, there's a lot to say about this movie. Like, it explains the issue that's been going on with Marvel Studios.
I know, and I skimmed like the whole, like, my mental outline for the film too. I didn't like do the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, we covered everything that I think people wanted to hear. So
I didn't even ask all the questions I wanted to ask you guys. I wanted to ask you guys what you thought the flaws were, the thought of the film were, whatnot, and everything. I wanted to ask you guys what you thought of Dark Ben overall. You know what I mean? Whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And then go through all the different Marvels besides Captain Bree, and, like, you know, give everybody, you know, give like a report card on each character. You know what I'm saying, and whatnot, right? Like, you know, Photon,
yeah,
right? I'm gonna call her Photon just because I like Photon.
yeah. Apparently, what is it? Cyber say her like they actually put that name in the credits, which I'm like,
Photon.
yeah, like I'm trying to remember. Like I stayed behind the credits. I didn't notice her name was.
I didn't even look. I never look at the credits. I never look
Yeah.
at the actual, like, that part of it. I never look.
Yeah. You know, it was fun. The Proton name makes sense because like her mom actually used that name Proton when she was a pilot, and WandaVision. This episode, you know, it's funny. You know, getting into the episode now, like you know, now in Interrupt Our Program, we see her full, you know, her like firefighter nickname, Marie Proton Rabone. So it makes sense for her to take the Proton name because it's the name that her mom used when she was a
Yes.
pilot. You know,
I firmly believe that in whatever she comes on in next to her, whatnot, everything,
should be called Proton.
yeah, she will be Photon. Yes,
Yeah, which is fine because I agree with Saber that it's a better name. Proton.
it's her best outfit from the comics.
Yeah. They did a good job with her costume that movie. Yeah. So let me discuss this. I love this episode 4. Interrupt this program. I think this is a 10 out of 10. Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna throw my rating right now. You know,
Here's a 10 out of 10. I'll put it out there right now. I gave it a 10 out of 10 when we reviewed it. I'm gonna give that a 10 out of now. I'm not gonna change and drop my rating down.
No. I mean, this episode confirmed, like, well, first off, great introduction to the older Monica Rambeau. If you don't remember from the first Captain Marvel movie, we did have Monica there, but she was a child, and
Yeah.
you know, sometimes you kind of get confused because the mom has the same letter as her, like her first name has an M, so it was gonna be like I have a friend. I actually have friends, so bear with me, Jeff. I had 2 friends. They have the same 2 M names, Michael and Michael and Matthew. That's their names, and so I always get mixed up their names because they have the same letter first names. So here is the same issue. It's like, wait a minute, I thought we had Monica in the first movie. It's like, no, that was her mom. Anyway, great. This was a great episode. I just want to bring it up because I know people will be maybe confused. Like, wait a minute, I thought the woman we saw in the first Captain Marvel is Monica, but no, it wasn't. That was Marie Baron. Anyway, great episode. A great episode. It gave you answers to what was going on from the first 3 episodes. We got great introduction to Jimmy Rue and Darcy Edwards. It was a very Twilight, X-Files kind of episode where.
Before we get Woo, we get introduced to Director Hayward.
Yes. Yeah.
And he's a poignant character in the show.
Yes. I mean, you could say he's like the secondary antagonist after Africa, right?
Yes. Later on,
as we'll move on from the next episodes, right? So yeah, so that was really great. It was great to see a post blip. That was something that we kind of needed after Avengers Endgame, because here's the thing: Far From Home did not address the blip. They addressed it briefly in the opening, and that was it. It was just a very comedy kind of film.
Yeah, this is the first time we actually saw somebody. I believe at that point, wasn't it? Like actually getting getting blipped back.
Yeah, well, yes, that, but also the aftermath. The aftermath. That was like the intriguing part. Yeah, I agree, Jeff. Yeah, like that. So it was really cool, and I thought the episode did such a good job of that. And plus setting up Monica as a good character. Um, Despite what you guys heard of the Marvels, I still like um Paris as Monica Rambeau. I think they could do more with this character later on, wherever would take her after the Marvels. But when we introduced here, I thought she was a really good character, and what the show did for her character was really interesting because she had same parallel arc, just like Wanda. Like they both lost like a significant other, and it was really cool and how they relate each other really well, especially towards the end, which I appreciate. But yeah, I think this was a great episode. I need this to pull up Easter eggs. What was um in this episode? But what you thought about, Jeff, about this episode? I'm kind of curious.
Well, I mean, the intro is great. Like
Yeah.
it's good. It's good. I like the fact that there's flashbacks. As long as they're done like at least halfway decent. I always like flashbacks, right? You can't
Yeah.
go wrong with flashbacks. Usually the MCU flashbacks are usually pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Like that's like usually whenever I see flashbacks for the most part, I'm like, oh, okay, because it always ties something in or connects to something. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, whatnot, right? Like that's good usually, right?
Mm-hmm.
Think like the Winter Soldier killing Tony's parents. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
powerful, right? Like that was a big poignant moment, right? In Civil War when we saw that shit, right? You know what I'm saying? So like or like think about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and when we see that scene in the first episode, I wish I would have. I think everyone wanted to see more of those Winter the Soldier flashbacks of him killing people and shit.
Yeah.
Sick,
That was a
dude.
good one.
He was nice as Winter Soldier, bro.
Yep. Yeah. All the potential of Falcon and Winter Soldier. Shame.
For
Anyway.
real. No, for real. But no, so it's a great intro. I remember, to try to kind of like go back to like reviewing this the first time, I know eons ago, right? 2+ years ago or whatever, whatnot, right? Basically, I remember doing the reviews, and it was just such a change of pace in the series, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? We'd gotten this was our first Disney Plus series. So we never watched Marvel on TV before of whatever kind, you know what I'm saying? Whatnot, only in movies. So nobody really knew what to expect. And the first 3 episodes of WandaVision, people were just starting to warm to the show, right? Like around the 3rd episode or whatnot, everything. Like, but at the same time, though, there were some people hating it. And like that were bailing and whatnot. I remember people even then, like, you know what I'm saying, being like, dude, this ain't my shit, right? Like, I don't get this. You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't my kind of thing. You know what I mean? This isn't my MCU kind of show. Like, I just don't like this at all. Some people really didn't like it at all. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, it's just one of those concepts. The show is where there's going to be people that are going to be critical of it, and they're going to be, like, really critical. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, seriously critical. And basically, that's when episode 3 and 4, I think, is when you really started to also get like fever pitch level with all the fucking like fan theories and shit and whatnot, and everything and all that, and like all the stuff people thought was going to happen. Every week it was like, oh, Magneto's going to be in the next episode, whatever, whatnot. Like, oh shit, Wonder Man's going to be in it. Saying like,
Mephisto again.
Mephisto was going to be in it. I won't lie, if I remember correctly, I firmly fucking believed and like flat out said Mephisto would be in the series, the whole series. I was like, Mephisto will be in the show. Like he just hasn't. Like they're saving him for the end, right? And there was like a little glimmer in me of hope, a small percentage that like Magneto would pop up in the finale. I won't lie. Like I wasn't 100% like 99.9% like Magneto's not going to be in the fucking show. They're not ready for that. That makes no sense. It's way too early, right? There was like probably 2 or 3% of me that was like, you never know. They might bring him in for like a cameo or something like that at the end of the episode or some shit, or you know what I mean, or a flashback. Who the fuck knows, right? Just to gin up, like audience and subscribers to Disney Plus. You know what I'm saying? X-Men,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
What says X-Men more than Magneto?
or Professor X. I mean, don't forget about him.
Well, there you go. Yeah. So it's just this is a great contrast episode. This was a great break it up, change things up,
Yeah.
show us show us what's actually going on here finally, because we have no fucking idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? As you're reviewing this the first time watching it, you're like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, Wanda has control of the time, but you don't know how. You know what I mean? You don't know about that energy field really hard at all, really hard, until episode 4.
Well, we really don't know if this was Wanda until the end of episode 3. And
No,
like,
you know what I'm saying? I did. Who else would be powerful enough?
I mean, Africa. I mean, you think about it, like, if they're like, we knew that Africa was going to be in the show. Like, it could have been easily her or Mephisto. You know, if you want to bring up theories.
Oh yeah, you're right. We thought Mephisto might have been Mephisto.
Yeah, so like there were other
I
options.
didn't think it was Agnes. I thought it was Mephisto.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it could be easily been Africa, because just the way the theories were leading towards her, because clues and all that. If you pay attention to those like theories and clues of Africa, plus this episode, like Monica said that it was Wanda all along. It made sense. So it confirmed that with this episode.
I saw this whole stupid fucking article yesterday, whatnot, everything on my phone that said that fucking Elizabeth Olsen already flat out vocally said that she's done playing the Scarlet Witch. Fuck you, bro. Get out of here, man. What are you fucking kidding me, dude?
Yeah. Like, we don't know it's the end of Scarlet Witch. Like, I don't think Marvel Studios are done with her. Like, come on. Like, I don't know. Like, we'll see.
That's stupid, bro. Like, literally, you think Lizzie Olsen is that stupid that she would leave all that money on the fucking table?
Yeah, and plus, like, I don't care about the fandom, but like a book that talks about the timeline that doesn't connect at all with the movies, that isn't canonical, like that is not true. Like,
what do you mean? Are you talking about the expose book that's that those authors wrote?
Yeah, well, no. There was the one with the timeline that they like explained.
Oh, I was gonna say, because honestly, I thought about buying that book so that we could like make content on it and like talk about it, whatnot, and everything. Do some shows.
Yes,
where we read some of the chapters, whatever, whatnot, everything, right, and like talk about them.
Yes, I'm gonna get that for Christmas. Because Screen Crush has been bringing that up. Some other viewer I've been paying attention to is bringing that up as well.
I think we get good stats or whatever, and whatnot, everything and whatnot. If we actually like did some content on it, whatnot, and all that, and talked about it.
Yeah, I guess so. I think I want to do is use that and like use that for one film to explain things, like particularly Thor: The Dark World, because that was such a messy production, and like I think those films will explain like the reason why that movie is a really bland movie. Yeah.
I think some asshole chick actually stole my Wakanda Files book.
Oh my god.
Do you believe that shit? You know how expensive that bitch was?
Well, sorry to hear that.
For reals, dude. I got it, man. Nobody stole it from me, man.
Oh my god.
No chick that I've hung out with or whatever, whatnot, wouldn't even know what the Wakanda Files was. They wouldn't even know how valuable it was or whatever, or whatnot, or even what it was even about.
Yeah.
Either way, the only reason I mention it is because I've never actually sat and read the whole damn thing.
It's pretty good.
Oh, you read it?
No. I have one for the Batman. I have the like big.
The skill thing, yeah.
Yeah, the scale thing. Yeah.
I've got a couple of skill books from Naruto Shippuden. I've got some of those skill books, whatever, whatnot, everything, where they rate the characters and like fighting and all that shit and strength and all that shit with all that crap.
Yeah, I have that, and then Superman as well. So they're fun. I mean,
no.
Yeah.
So what do you think? So we get Sword's perspective,
yes,
right? Basically, right, and like we meet Hayward, and
Well,
this is really our first introduction to Monica Rambeau.
yeah. Well, before we meet Hayward, we need to talk about the opening of her coming back from the blip.
Oh, well, what is there to talk about? We already talked about it. She blips and her mom's dead.
Well, yeah, but that's like I like that thing because it's such a cool perspective of when because we didn't see that in Endgame and like seeing like the other civilians coming back from the blip from.
That's why I said this is the first movie that actually showed us, or the first show that showed us anything about what happened after Endgame with the blip and whatnot, everything and all that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I want to bring that scene up because it is important because it sets up everything with Monica and her character arc. Like, the fact that she came back, like, in moments that she didn't realize that she's been gone for 5 years. And then the whole shock that her mom did die, it's, like, very hard. And plus, the scene in the hospital is, like, so hectic because everyone's coming back from the blip. And it's, like, so cool. And you can hear, like, crashes outside, like car crashes and all that. Like, it's a really intense and, like, thrilling scene to open up the episode with, which is cool. But yes, now we can go to the Hayward thing.
I can't believe this bitch is empty already. Holy shit. This thing smokes up quick.
The vapors.
Oh, I just gotta open it up. There we go. So basically then what happens after that, when we get into, we get into Sword, basically Monica, is back. She's back to like reclaim her job, get it, have her job back and whatnot, everything, right? I like the dialogue with her and Hayward. And basically, we get reintroduced to Darcy Lewis, Dr. Darcy Lewis, who they brought in as a specialist to study what's it called? Those the energy that comes from the Big Bang.
Yeah, the CMBR.
Yes, because she specializes in that or whatnot, right? That's when she finds out and gets the TV and whatnot, everything, right? And that's when she starts watching WandaVision.
Yeah. So the acronym, if you want people want to know this, it's called the cosmic microwave background radiation. That's where Darcy shortened it to be CMBR. So that's the full
leftover Big Bang energy.
That's
exactly. hanging out, and that's just hanging out, kicking it.
Yeah.
It's space.
Yeah. So yeah, we got that. We got Jimmy Woo. So that was like he comes back from the Ant-Man franchise, and it was really great. They pay off the magic trick card thing that Scott was doing for Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then like Jimmy was trying to practice it during that film, and he got it right this time in this movie, which was so cool to pay off. Yeah, that was really cool to get more of the MCU like side characters in that show. Like we needed more of that in the other shows. But yeah, so we got Darcy coming in after Monica got like sucked into the hex, right? Which we don't know if that's the hex yet, right? And then Darcy, testing the whole thing and finding the broadcasting is really cool and small TV, and it was really cool when Hayward hears the TV and he asks what's going on, and we see the show from their perspective, and it's like like really unique, and it's a sitcom, and you know what's going on, and then you see like a couple times the drones they're standing in, and then the beekeeper, which is cool. So like we see the beekeeper going down to the sewer, like the tunnel, and then you see him get affected by the hex, and then like the rope change into like the jump rope thing you use for school. So yeah, like the whole sequence was really great. And then what I like about the sequence was Darcy like using the TV and trying to identify the victims in the hex, finding out who's these people in the show. And it was cool from the montage seeing Jimmy and Darcy working together to like identify these citizens in Westfield, So I really dug that. Yeah, that's when
sure. And basically, and when it comes to the FBI agent, Wu, he's there because one of his one of his like parolees or ever whatnot, all that shit or ever whatnot, or one of his like like
with
uh
this protection.
yes, with his protection people, whatever, whatnot, and everything, hasn't checked in. And he lived in Westville or whatever, whatnot, all that shit, right? And
Yeah,
it's funny when they show up because the cops are there, whatnot, everything, and you know the town is right there. They're
yeah,
acknowledging it's there. They're
yeah,
like, the town doesn't exist.
yeah. Yeah, it was very weird. Yeah, it was very creepy too. Like it was very Twilight. It's like, you should know that there is a town, right? If you have a FBI agent telling you that there's a town there. So yeah, I really dug that because like
Sure,
it
I did
really,
too.
yeah, it sets up like the mood and like the suspicion that you should have, you know. So it was really great. Well, it's funny. Let's get into the stupid thing that Monica did. It's weird that Monica got pulled into the hex. You know, it's like she touched it once. It's like don't touch it again, and like she did it again, and like she got sucked into that, which is funny.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, we really didn't see other people try to get in. Although, didn't Jimmy Woo try to get in?
No,
No, nobody else tried to get in there. No.
well, because apparently there's like a feeling that attacks you, like it attracts you to the
Yeah,
hex.
like Jimmy Woo said,
Yeah, like that.
it doesn't want you in.
Yeah, where like Monica, it did, which makes sense maybe because like something like affected her and like affects like this is how she get her powers. Which was funny. It was funny that the Marvels explained how she got her powers. Like I got affected by a witch hex, like portal or like shield thing, whatever. It was funny. But yeah. So while Darcy looks at the TV to find like the identities of the people in the show, she knows a Monica, and Monica is there, and and then we get to the really cool payoff of the radio. We see Jimmy like connecting, trying to talk to Wanda during like episode 2, where we saw that was Jimmy Woo trying to make contact with her, and it was really cool when Darcy sees it. Like there was like almost like a break point where like Wanda like the reality was sinking in that moment, and then it cut it back to the sitcom format, which was really great. And so that was really cool. What they did, because especially because we did that again when Darcy and Will were watching episode 3, and then they were wondering what happened to Monica. Monica, because Darcy sees that she brought up Ultron, and like that is the first time that they bring up something that's from reality, and then it cuts to Vision coming into the room, and then with Wanda, so
Yeah,
so that was really funny, um, and then after that, you know, the was it the alarm? I think comes in. Well, was it the alarm or no? Like we get back, we cut back into the show to see what happened to Monica from episode 3, right? And like we see like full on the sequence is where Monica is getting drained by Wanda, and then Wanda does like she pushes Monica out of the hex from like the walls and through the house, and then she fixes it by her powers, and then we get this cool like scene where we see Vision, but then there's a quick glimpse of Vision being dead, like from a film where like he has a like we see a corpse Vision, which
yes.
was very creepy. I wasn't expecting that from a Disney Plus show, and so and then yeah,
He's an android.
well he's Android.
They don't care. Disney don't care about that.
Yeah, well yeah, I mean it's easy
No
to
blood.
yeah, well yeah. It's the same. It's the same look from the film war. When he gets killed, it's that. But yeah, so you got that, and then you see them like sitting down and going back to the TV format, and then I think we cut back to Monica getting out from the hex, and then I think Jimmy Woo is in the scene, and Darcy I think as well, and they ask how she is, and then she implies that it's Wanda all along, and then cut to black, and the episode ends with a Jimi Hendrix song, which is great. Voodoo Child, which is a great song from his album. So yeah, it's such a great episode.
It is a good. I know it is.
Yeah,
Is that how they cut out? Is that what they cut out of the Jimi Hendrix song?
yeah. It's
Oh, you're right. That's what they play at the end credits.
yeah, it's a Voodoo Child. Slight Return is by Jimi Hendrix. The Experience. Great song. So that's a definitely good pick for this episode. So which was really neat. And I think you see a different, like the credits are the same, but I think there's a different set of sequence, like where I
There
think
is.
you
There
see,
is.
yeah, I think a footage of Monica, or I think some clip from the show. I think, but it was very quick.
They got rid of some of the whole deal where it shows did they show? I didn't watch the whole credits. Did they show that whole deal where they show the actual energy that makes that like makes the town?
A little bit.
That's what that is. And the other end credits, that's what that is. All that like shit. Those are supposed to represent that stuff in the end credits with all the lights. That's supposed to be the Infinity Stones and the energy from the Infinity Stones that creates the town and like controls it and makes the hex.
Yeah. Yeah. It's still the same here, but it's altered differently. It's in the credits because now that Monica gets credit as a regular cast. I need to see that again. The credits. I think I'll pull it up for Disney Plus right now. But yeah, I now that it's bothering me now because the credits for episode 4 was really cool. The Wandavision. Well, what's your opinion on the ending? Did you like some of the reveals?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, which reveals do you mean exactly?
It's Wanda all along, and the
Oh, you mean it's Agatha all along?
well, not yet for that.
Oh, Wanda all along with the hex.
Yeah.
Yes, I love it when they show I love it when they show Darcy watching the show.
Mm,
And Hayward finds out about the show without and he's like, okay, whatever. He doesn't give a fuck.
yeah. Yeah, what a person. What a director. I mean, I don't know. I just find it really. I mean, his character is so frustrating when we get to the later episodes. Like, that the blip affected him, and like he's like bent on trying to prevent another Thanos attack or something like that. So when we get to the series. Anyway, so at this point, let's get into like Easter eggs and all of that.
Yes, sir. I know you cannot wait. You're chopping at the bit for Easter eggs.
Yeah. So this one I missed the first time, but in the whiteboard when Jimmy Woo suggests the scrolls might be behind all this, that was a cool like a little nugget there, to connect Captain Marvel and Marie.
Yeah.
And speaking, sticking with the Marvels, like we get with Monica, we get the call back again with Lieutenant Trouble, the nickname that she got from Carol and Captain Marvel, and then we get that again in the Marvels. We get it here again, I think briefly with the voice over when she was coming back from the blip. What else? Oh yeah, I think the drone that Monica sends in the restroom actually has the Captain Marvel colors. That was the thing. Like it has the red and little kind of scheme to that. You see with Captain Marvel's suit and then when Monica going through the Wanda's energy field because of the latent powers, like that's also from the comics how she turned into energy, and there's a lot of weird energy stuff in this episode, which is very true. This one was really cool. When Monica wakes up, from the blip, the room is the number of the room is 104. That's a reference for the Avengers issue 104 because it's a issue where the Avengers and X-Men are teaming up to fight mutant hunting the Sentinels. This is where who have strapped Wanda to a machine that will cause a solar flare that will sterilize the humans, allowing the Sentinels to bleed out of a genetic variation that causes mutation. Very weird. To put in my note there. What else? That's like another big one. Something else. Oh, another one's like another Mephisto fan theory, because the Eastwood Sheriff's vehicle number is 1966, and then if you flip the 9 in different numbers, like it could be 666, which is kind of ridiculous. So another, fake out Mephisto fan theory.
Yes.
Typical. And then I brought up the Jimmy Woo thing.
Didn't some of the Wandavision people that made the show say that they had fun, like toying with the fans and shit and whatnot, and fucking with them?
I did not hear that. So I think it was just us, or we're like, you brought up how like people were not into the show. I kind of disagree. I think a lot of people were so into.
I can't remember how it did rating wise. I can't remember.
It did well in the way.
It didn't do as well as Loki. I know that Loki is the most highly rated. The first season is the most highly rated Disney Plus show ever.
Yeah, well, and it was in the summertime, as Jeff Cyber said. Let me flip this up. Yeah, I think the ratings were good. I think it's like something here. Ratings, come on, give me the ratings here. The streaming ratings. So it was. Okay. Yes. WandaVision was Disney Plus' most watched series premiere on its opening weekend, ahead of the second season of The Mandalorian. So, and yeah, apparently, like WandaVision didn't have the highest number of minutes reviewed using the Nensel, minute research thing, but because the release schedule that they had was different, but in counting the U.S. viewers of connected television who attached at least 2 minutes within session of watching content for at least 5 minutes, apparently WandaVision was the most reviewed title of January of 2021 across all major years of streaming and advertising view on demand. So the series had like 8,000 8,127 index on the sites, which was 81 times more views than the average series measured by the service. That's what that say. So, but it was still good. But like Loki did outbeat that when it came out in June. So anyway, back to Jimmy Woo. When he pulling out his card with the close-up magic was a callback to the running gag from Ant-Man and Wasp. That's what I was trying to say. And then you got the bookkeeper reveal. This one was another one. Did you discuss this? The fan theory, the beekeeper thing. Apparently, in the article I reading this, apparently the mystery beekeeper was referred to Agent Franken, and people I think mistake this to be the name for Franklin Richards, the son of Mr. Fantastic, and that was not true. So I found that really funny.
Yes, I remember the rumors that that was him. I remember the rumors that in episode 5 or 6, Reed Richards was going to come up and pop up as like some kind of like assistant or whatever, whatnot, and all that, helping out.
Yeah,
or something like that, or whatever.
Yeah, which
is like as an astronaut or some shit like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it was around like 5. Like I think we're gonna tease that like 5 or 6, something like that. Sword, another big one. Sword. So Sword is very different from the comics. The Sword is more of the cosmic. In the Marvel comics, it's called the Sentinel World of Servant and Response Department. But in the MCU, it's called the Sensitive Weapon of Surgeon Response Division. So they changed that. And from this show, I don't know, you talked this with Cyber when you were reviewing this. I thought the Sword was going to be the new Shield, and this is how Nick Fury was going to be coming back.
It was like it was almost like I can't remember back then because they laid it out, but like it was almost like not kind of, it was quasi like the new Shield.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, but it didn't end up doing that. So it's really bizarre what the MCU did this last phase or so.
No, does it? It's still operational? Isn't Sword isn't it in the Marvels?
No, it's Saber.
Oh, it's a saber the station. There is no more sword. Is it the end of WandaVision? Did they roll sword up?
I think so. You know what? I need to check because that was the thing that was weird about the Marvels. Because I thought that sword was with Nick now or something like that. Hold on, let me check here. Because because you're thinking that it's gonna be here, Marvel's sword. So here we go. Let me check the Marvel Cinematic thing. So, appearance, like actually the Marvels, the sword was mentioned in the Marvels, but it wasn't the thing with Shield. That's different. So that was kind of weird. But yes.
Is that all your Easter eggs?
Let me get to it. What else? I'm just checking. Yeah. I know. What else? So Keeper versus Broken Head. Okay, that's it. I think we're all done.
We're all done?
Yep, that's it.
Excellent, sir. Well, you know what, folks? WandaVision rewatch, re-review of episode 4 is over. But we'll come strong with episode 5, since it's all we'll be doing. We won't be covering anything else. Maybe we'll cover some MCU news rumors. I'm sure Andres will probably have an article or some pop culture stuff for us to talk about, whatnot, and everything, right? But assuming...
We got our Lex. We got our Lex Luthor now.
Oh, did we? Oh, okay. There we go.
Yeah.
That's good news.
So we're going to discuss that next month.
Okay, we can discuss that. Are we gonna redo and go ahead and do the live to do Adam's Family?
Yes, this Sunday. I already
Sunday?
scheduled. Yep, this Sunday, November 26th. We're gonna do
Good job.
First and his family. It's already scheduled. The studio set, so it was very good. It's good that you called me yesterday about that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Good job.
So,
Most definitely.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that. So don't worry, folks.
I know. Then we got friggin' Event Horizon on Friday. That's gonna be a blast. Our first ever space sci-fi horror movie we've ever done. Probably, honestly, the most. I mean, that is like psychologically horrific or scary as The Shining, but besides The Shining, probably the scariest horror movie that we've ever reviewed. Do you know what I'm saying?
I mean, like, I'm surprised you're not bringing up Alien. Alien is a horror spaceship.
We didn't review Alien.
Oh, I see.
We reviewed it. We reviewed it on Joey's show.
Oh, you did. All right.
Yeah, we did, but we can still do it here. I think probably, if anything, we'd probably skip. We'd probably do it. We'd do Alien 2 probably to start with that, since we've already reviewed it on Joey's shit.
Aliens, yeah.
Then we probably just bring J-Rant over.
Yeah.
The other night, that show went by so quick, I didn't realize we were going for 3 hours. And J.R. was passing out. I thought he didn't feel well, whatever, whatnot. He was falling asleep.
I know. It depends, like, if you have a lot to say about the film, and if you don't have any background with it, it's gonna be tough to talk about it. No.
Yeah, but no, we've got a good week ahead of us, and honestly, let's skip plugs. Andres is doing good over at Andres Pop Culture Guy Presents. He's almost 100 subscribers. So do him a solid and go over and check out. I do all the time and whatnot and everything, right? Now that you're a known commodity with people who know me, or people that I like, that I give the business card to and talk to whoever at the bar and show our YouTube channel, whatnot. We bullshit. I tell them about you, or they watch the show, whatnot, everything. They hear our time cop shit. Our time board shit, everything and whatnot, right?
Oh my god, that's so
honestly, I think that there's I told you, Andres, as we get out of here, folks, that once my energy started to come back and whatnot and everything, we'd start collaborating again and whatnot and all that. And we just start having guests coming on and whatnot and all that, like we used to, kind of. They'd start trickle in. Well, they are. I put together 3 collaborations in the last 2 weeks. That's why I was guesting tonight as a part of the collaboration with the one squad that we're collaborating with. Either 1 or 2 of them are coming on for Event Horizon, and a couple of them, there's 4 or 5 of them. A couple of them are going to end up doing some of the Infinity Saga stuff with us.
Right. I'm not gonna be on Friday, so.
You're gonna be the advisor. I know. That's why I loaded up with other guests.
All right, awesome.
But we'll have some bigger shows coming up, folks. We're gonna have more people on. Of course, you know it won't be hard for me to find one of those people that'll want to pop on to do Infinity Saga reviews with us, like Infinity War. It won't be hard sell for me to reach out to like some of the other pods that we know and YouTube channels and be like, hey, we're reviewing Infinity War and Endgame. Do you want to come on? Few people, if they're free, are going to say no at that point. If you're an MCU fan, getting the chance to review those movies is something that you do as many times as you get a chance to do it.
Yeah.
Like, if you could do it 5 times, you do it 5 times. You know what I mean? Like it's that simple. But we're going to do it in 2 parts each, and we're going to split moderation on them and whatnot and everything, right? Because that's just the best way to do it. It's a lot to talk about. Those Avengers movies.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're doing that with Infinity War. Like Endgame, I understand.
There's so many characters.
That's
You know
true.
what I'm saying? There's so many characters to talk about. They're so long. The movies.
I mean,
think about it. We'll probably have 5 or 6 people on.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So think about how long it'll take.
That's true. I can see why.
Half the movie will be like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, Infinity War is the same hour like Exception. So.
Well, we learned. Like we didn't learn our lesson. We learned right off the bat that it works out well to do it that way. At least for us. Yeah, because we broke up the Avengers at Age of Ultron. And
yeah. Actually, you did mention that to me. I was like, oh yeah. I think
and we only had like four people one time for like one of the Age of Ultron halves, and it still was like 3 hours long.
Ooh.
Okay. There's just so much to talk about. You know what I'm saying? And whatnot and everything. And you have all the original 6 characters to talk about too. You know how passionate MCU fans are about the original 6?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Age of Ultron is so packed. And with Infinity War Endgame, it's
I know. You know what? I've been wanting to make like a recorded video or whatever, whatnot, and everything at some point. Not like short form, but like a long form recorded video at some point, whatnot, and everything, discussing with other people, like with guests and whatnot, and everything, about other creators, about like how I think Age of Ultron is actually probably the most underrated film in the MCU.
Hey, good. Good for you. It's definitely mid-tier for me. Like, it's actually a good film. It's definitely.
I just think it's underrated. I think people like put it down.
Well, and you cannot blame them.
It's sandwiched in between the first Avengers film and Infinity War and Endgame.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, you have to remember it's a sequel to the first, Avengers movie, so it's going to be tough for it to follow the success of that first film. So. But yeah, that one also has a lot of Marvel community problems. Like there was a lot of hands-on in that film. If you read that book for the Marvel, like the Ray and Marvel Studios book, or whatever we were talking about earlier, like there was a lot of because the studio wanted a lot of setup for Phase 3, and then Whedon had other ideas, and it's very fascinating how that film came to be.
Most definitely. And I think that if anything, and we could talk about this later or whatnot, everything, but I think that it's possible that the director there that directed the first Avengers film, that he just didn't do as good a job with Age of Ultron.
No, I mean, look, he was he tried his best. I mean, I don't like.
Oh yeah, I don't have any problem with him. I like Age of Ultron. Yeah,
I mean, there's great things about Age of Ultron, and he did a good job of that. It's just certain aspects he could have done better. I feel again, it's the humor. I like the humor in Age of Ultron, but there's just times where the clips is just undercut some of the dramatic and important things. And especially Ultron. I like Ultron as a villain. He's definitely a good villain. But I could get that him constantly joking does take away the menacing thing that you wanted from Ultron from the trailers.
Yes.
So
the trailers really oversold him.
Yeah, I mean Disney markedly hard on Age of Ultron. There was multiple trailers and oh my god,
oh yeah, there were 3 of them.
Yeah, I mean 3, and then multiple spots.
3 full-length ones too.
Yeah. like compared that to the Force Awakens, like that had like very like
Civil War has 3 trailers.
yeah. Seymour has 3. Yeah, 3 trailers. Yeah, I do remember.
Remember the second one is the one that has Spider-Man in it.
Yeah.
Isn't there 3 or is it 2? Is 2 the one?
No. It was only 2 for Infinity War.
Okay, there's only 2.
Yeah, because Phase 3 is always 2. Because I remember this because in Phase 2 there was always 3, depending on the film.
Well, I'm tired. Let's get the hell out of here so I can get some sleep.
Yes, apparently you didn't sleep 2 hours.
Oh, yes, folks. As you'll see in my drunk reaction videos that I did when they come out, Jeff S., a.k.a. True Knowledge, who rarely ever drinks to intoxication, did drink to intoxication last night, and really intoxication, like super intoxication. Like I drank for me and Andre's a pop culture guy. I was supposed to drink with Cyber on the show tonight, but I'm so like beat up from like being out drinking. I'm all old and shit and whatnot. I can't handle my booze. I can't party anymore. So like, you know, I couldn't even handle it. And I couldn't even drink the Dr. McGillicuddy shit with Cyber. I had to take the night off. I've been drinking too much, Andres.
Yeah, I can see that. All right, let's go.
I got to cut that. All right, man, let's get the hell out of here. We'll see you later, folks. Peace. We love you.
Yo, crank that volume, turn it way up. Get your weapon, get your blade out. Damage, then you gon' pay up. Yo, crank that volume, turn it way up. Get your weapon, get your blade out. Damage, then you gon' pay up.
Yo, crank that volume, turn